I don't know where to put this so that
Oh, I don't want it on me.
Sarah's gonna have it on her.
Sounds
I
good.
had having a copy of
All we're doing is we're gonna just
Yeah, hi. I did not need
Again,
to.
get
I can move.
Sarah and Sarah.
You can keep turning it that way.
And the glass of wine right in the middle.
There you go.
See what you're missing out on?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that actually for social media. I can take
I can move.
fun pictures for that.
School I did in 4th grade. I haven't updated mine yet.
Your dream board?
New place up for school.
Yeah, you should be doing one too, man.
Basketball court in your room, huh?
That'd be cool.
I mean, let's see, I told them like 5 million times.
They're playing basketball, I think, John.
And then I told them to watch a movie, and then they.
Well, Noah can't be.
It's not Noah. It's
There's
the
no
boys.
rough playing with Noah.
It's the boys.
I want to have a new place set at home. You want a bigger one out there?
Not when- Whenever you swing, it shakes like not seeing afraid that's gonna fall.
Oh.
He never
Then you go
cemented.
flying up in the air.
He never cemented the.
It's all
Oh,
wood too.
Yeah.
Well, they are. I mean, unless you buy a plastic, they all are wood. If you go to the plastic ones, they're thousands of dollars for the ones that the other schools have and
Not
stuff.
every hard's that
Oh
one.
my gosh, yeah. The metal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Every once in a while you can find one.
Yeah.
On like the Mankato site.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
Journal eating. So I'm gonna try to journal what I eat.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I mean? Like
Sure.
every day, so that I
Sure.
really take the time to really go, okay. That's when you have to just write down what you eat before you eat it. You think twice.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to eat that?
Right.
Like, because I have to write it down. Work out 5 days a week.
I got a new journal. Well, actually from you at our Christmas party, and I'm gonna journal daily. That's one of my.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
I'll write that down too. Did you guys do Sibley?
The
You guys both-
Kiwanis lights.
Yeah. So pretty, isn't it?
Sunday night we ended up going through twice.
Oh, isn't it so pretty down there?
Yes, it is.
It's like I didn't realize they had a ice rink.
But it's a synthetic ice, isn't it? Like,
I have no idea.
Well, they put that concrete there for a reason. That's what they use concrete for.
so it is real ice now. Because it used to be a synthetic ice, so you couldn't.
Is this actually on, John? Oh, it's live, so I should tell people we're on? Huh? Okay. Awesome.
They put that concrete around that one tree over by the park. I think that's what they use that for
Okay.
now. They used to just put it on the grass.
We didn't walk. We should have, but I was
We
not.
did.
I was not dressed
So
for it.
Pretty. And the path is so nicely paved. It was so
Yes.
pretty with the snow too.
Well, we didn't see it with the snow, but it was gorgeous. It
Yeah.
always is. They do amazing.
I think they've added more. They
Yes.
always add
Oh, yeah.
more.
Every
Yep.
year. And the snowflakes on the right side,
Yeah, that's
Oh, with the
new.
music.
that's all new.
Those
Yeah.
are the music.
Yep. And then the balls that light up, that's new this year.
Well, and even the bridge, that
Yes.
old rickety
Yeah.
bridge, I don't think that's had lights on it before.
Right.
Well, that was set to music too?
I don't know if it
It
was
was-
set to me. No, I mean
No,
like
no.
the train bridge.
Where it
like
goes
there's
down,
another
it goes
entrance
down.
to come
Yeah,
in.
they had lights in there too.
That's new this year.
I was gonna say I don't remember seeing
Dad,
that
did you
before,
make
but
them
we,
watch a
I think
movie?
last year we drove through and the year before we walked through.
Sure. So I don't know if we have anybody that's viewing.
Just think I could
We'll let people know that we're on.
It says live streaming. I got a
No.
notification.
Mm-hmm. Here's it's available.
I'm gonna move it back. See more of you.
Less of me.
Yeah, keep it up high. You might see cookies in the middle.
People might get dizzy.
Sorry, it's me, guys. Sorry. So when they go on, John, can they also be the ones that are in it to talk to us? Is that the way it's set up, the link you gave them? Or is it just view only? Is that the 10 spots?
This is just view only.
Oh, it is only view only? Do you see anybody viewing it?
Mm-hmm.
There are? Hello, hello! Let's see. Hi guys, Detective from Arizona, say hello. Hello, Stacy. Happy New Year. Who else is joining us? Are you dream board building with like us? We got our wine, ladies, right? Cheers to 2016. Woo! If you guys have any, I thought, so is there a way that they can, John, if they want to be part of the speaking to us?
You can just chat in over your messenger is the easiest.
Over Messenger.
That's what I would do.
So dream board, build with us. I'm gonna see who's all. There's something I did want to read though, that Cammie had sent that she's doing for her dream board. Parties, we have one viewer. Is anybody else on? Is that Stacy, I wonder? Okay. Let's see. Let's see, run to Ruby maybe? You like that?
I would love to learn how to play the piano again.
Oh, yes. Awesome, awesome.
I have in there. So personal development, 1 book a month. Lose 14 pounds by June. Journal daily. Write down one thing I'm thankful for each day. Focus on the little things.
What do you want to do with that when you write it down? Do you want to put it somewhere or do you just want to write it down?
Just write it down so it makes me aware.
Sure.
You know, like,
Yep.
there's so many days you go by where you don't realize, you just don't even think about the blessings that you have.
Absolutely.
So making a point to, even if it's thanking the Lord for everything water.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Or a glass of wine. Or a glass of wine. You know, just to
Yeah.
focus on that stuff, because at any point, you know, it could be taken away. So,
I think just Stacy's so far on, which we're.
and I think that, I already focus a lot on that, but
Being thankful.
yeah, I focus a lot on that, but I think writing it down would be helpful, and it goes with my journaling, because I haven't been journaling now. I fell out of the habit of that.
Yeah, I have too a little bit.
Yeah.
I miss it. I can tell a lot that I haven't done it.
But I probably, if I get back into journaling, I probably won't do it as long as I did before, because it has to be something I have to keep up on.
Yeah.
You know, and I was doing like half an hour, 45 minutes,
Oh.
and that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because if you have a crazy day where you have to get up and get out of the house, it's hard to get all that in.
Mhm.
So,
Well, and like for me, I need to focus on. I tried doing it electronically, like just doing it on the computer, and that I felt that's what made me fall away from it. It's
Sure.
because then I get distracted, all of a sudden it's like, oh, a message pops up, so I read that, they don't know how to turn that off, and I'm very easily distracted. So
Sure.
I'm focusing on just writing it. I mean, it was faster when I typed it. I typed a lot faster than I write, but I felt I focused more when I wrote it. So getting back to that is very, very key.
It is fun though to journal because then you can look back at how God has answered prayers, or just look over your life and go, oh, I stressed too much about that. Look at it's all worked out today, or those kinds of things. So that's awesome.
I think what else is like,
Yeah, so I have presidential, I've got a promotional thing, I have daily devotions, work out 5 days a week, because I used to tell myself 7 days a week. Well, that's ridiculous. I can't keep up with that.
Yeah,
So 5 days a week is more,
sure.
leaves you leeway
Yeah.
to miss a day during the week, and also like a Sunday if you want
Yeah.
a weekend.
Yeah.
Journal my eating and journal daily, but not as long, because that was awesome, but that was too long for me.
sure I'm getting up early in the morning because I've been missing my devotions too, because I
Yeah.
want to do it during nap time. Well, my kids don't nap anymore. And with the new baby starting, even if my kids did nap, I still want to have a break.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to be out. So,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's not bad by any means. It's just a cycle of how it works. So, getting up early.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
the
little
same for me.
bit
I need to just get my rear end out of bed.
I want to sleep
It's
so
hard.
much.
I'm such an early riser. It drives
You
me
are.
nuts.
See, that's good. You have the time then if you want it.
Drives me nuts.
See, I can't. 'Cause I
Five.
just, the other day, I got to sleep until 10:30.
Oh, wow.
You know, amazing.
I'd love to sleep in past 7.
What's up?
Who is that?
He just likes it. Somebody's
Oh.
speaking to somebody
If I
in
need,
the
if I
world.
need to smile or I just turn this on.
That's cute.
You show the people watching.
Who's watching? How many? How many? See it? Yeah.
I did get to meet little baby Allie this week. He's
Anybody need more wine?
so Kate, my one daycare family,
I'll take a little bit,
I
John.
had their
I don't know if Sarah wants a refill or Sarah.
yeah, I'll take a
Wine are you
refill.
drinking, Liz?
Well, I had the pink, but I don't know if there's much left of that. What do you need?
You can drink some of the blue.
Sarah likes the blue.
Sarah likes the blue.
And Sarah, Steiner, what do you like?
It doesn't really matter.
Finish off the
Sweet,
pink.
really.
Are you trying to make us? He's like, I'm smiling.
As long as you're not on the table.
That was full.
I got my own bedroom tonight anyway, so.
Are you sleeping somewhere else tonight?
Yeah.
Snores.
That's
so
what I
loud.
hear.
It's
It's been
like,
bad
you can
lately.
sleep in downstairs in his bedroom.
I'll wake up going.
Really?
Who wants this? You?
I'll try a little bit of it.
Sarah Fitzner, that's the kind she likes.
I won't pour you full then. Oh, there's not much in there.
Oh.
Oh
Seemed like there was a bunch in there.
Do you like any other kind?
I'm fine. I have a whole nother bottle. I don't really need it. But Sarah
Ah!
doesn't really get to taste any. Amelia's the last one to pour it out of it. I suppose she didn't, obviously didn't realize.
Do you guys want this one? Some of this one? Or should I go out and get some of that?
Sure.
It's a different flavor. It's good, but it's a different flavor.
Is it a Moscato?
What is it?
It's a Moscato. It's called a Rosada.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
It's really good.
It's not too fancy.
So I do want to read the thing that Candy sent me. She's going to do this with her lead. They're doing their dream board building on Friday night. Her team.
Yeah, I think you asked what. Well, no, there was another day that you had asked what worked.
No, that was for our leadership,
Yeah, when.
which
when
you guys are all involved in that. Well,
did
the
that
second
go?
Monday is when it's set. It's a Monday though. And that's when I have, a Christmas gift for everybody and
Second Monday, which should be
whatever that second Monday is. I have to look at the
not the
calendar.
4th, but after that.
Well, the first already is
Friday.
Friday already.
So the
So
4th
Friday-
is the first Monday.
Yeah, and then it'd be the second.
Okay, I'm like, Dan's gone. Well, yeah, he's gone tomorrow till Saturday.
be back before that Monday.
Yeah, he'll be back and by that time.
So that's a Monday. I mean, that's when we would typically, and that's when I really want to sit down and us really talk about what we want to do for the year.
Sure.
Like, what do we want to do? You know, weekly opportunities do we not? Do we want to do, how many webinars do we want a month? How many, what do we want the meetings to look like? What kind of offerings we want to do? Personal development books, want to do once a month? I mean, those kinds of things. I really want to iron that stuff out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know, like with me, it's nice, even just having like 2 wrap parties, a month helps just because then it keeps me like,
In the groove.
yeah, where if like now we haven't had any for a while, so, and I've been busy, but just.
And the weather might permit that we just go more online too.
Yeah, well, and just anything like that.
Something
is-
going.
Cleanse your palate in between.
The cheese?
Mhm.
What is this age? What
Awesome.
kind is this?
This rhubarb.
Rhubarb wine. You guys like that kind of stuff?
I don't know, we'll try it.
His brother Abe makes it.
Maybe you need a little bit more than that.
I'm like, now that I had
to take
cheese.
take a test.
I'll try
I
that.
love cheese. Oh my
Do
god.
you?
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Does it make you constipated?
No, actually, it doesn't. We
It doesn't do that to me either.
We buy that 5-pound bag of shredded cheese from Sam's, and we go through it in like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Sure.
And that's, I mean, we have even more than that, but it's insane. All of us love it. The only one that it bothers is Evie.
Give it a test, guys, and see if that's your fancy or not.
It's very sweet. You like very sweet?
It's nice to know the
Yeah,
sweetness.
It's
Yeah,
good, but
no.
it's sweet. Very sweet.
It is really sweet. Wow.
It is very sweet. Too sweet for me.
More sugar, anybody?
Have a piece of cheese.
Like I could have a little bit of it, but not so.
Yeah.
It's strong too. I mean, it's.
It's
Probably
more
not-
alcoholic
Probably
than
knocked me on my rear end here. And
You could stumble them anyway. You want a little more?
I have a chin to walk home, remember?
Damn.
Do we want,
Very
we can
good.
pull out some chips and salsa if you guys want some more salty type.
That's good. I do have to drive.
Liz.
Do we have many viewers? Because as soon as we got a few more viewers, I was gonna read that thing. Okay.
At the moment.
So funny.
Awesome. Thanks, babe.
Once I get her good and liquor it up tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Then she'll sleep good though.
Yeah.
Without John next to
So we'll
her.
both snore.
Yeah.
I know, right? Oh.
We used to race to see who could get to sleep first.
That's hilarious.
Daily personal growth, new truck for Sean by June. Put $200 into savings every month.
Oh, that's
At least.
awesome. That's great. That's a great
Actually,
one.
a really good one.
Lose 2 pounds a week till goal weight is reached.
That's awesome.
Family cruise.
Talking with that guy. Can I go and look at that in the morning?
What, the Mr. Wood?
Yeah.
Should work
If
this
I'd be,
Thursday?
if I'd be up there by 10,
Yeah, good. I think we
I'd
have
be up
to
there
go
by 10. It's really only an hour
Sure.
ish. And then I could be back and I could still go to the Master Network.
Oh, yeah, that's right at 1 o'clock. Maybe a little earlier then? Plan for something a little earlier?
Not really.
Right. Yeah, because we have the kids, so I can't go and bring the kids to the master group
Oh, sure. So he was just gonna go
tomorrow.
rather than coming home.
It sounds like
Just go
Christy
straight to
was
me.
having issues too because her kids are out of school, and
Oh,
so it's like Carrie Henninger.
Yeah.
Hey, what time is it?
It's 1 to 2.
If you need them to have a place to go, I'm home.
Well, you're so sweet.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's okay if just one of us goes. I'm cool with chilling.
okay. Well, I was just gonna say. I mean, if you need a place, just let me know because we're home, and I'm sure the kids would love somebody there too.
Sure,
I was just closed today, but
sure.
it's their friends already.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
quite as fun as their friends.
You were close today.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Day off.
Yeah, today was I had 2 more days, and so I just took today, and then tomorrow. Technically, it's a holiday for me, so I have today and tomorrow off.
Oh, okay. And then Friday you're closed.
Yeah, Friday I'm closed. And then,
200 monthly, I like that. At least 200 a day off.
so the only difference with savings is, I've been listening to a lot of Jim Rohn, and he says to invest.
Yeah.
That you don't teach your kids to save, you teach your kids to invest. So,
Karen, you want some of this? This is that Moscato. That's sweet too.
Well, let me finish this glass
What does he
first,
suggest
and
you
then
invest in?
we'll
so you
see.
throw me off when you say
Sarah.
Sarah. I'm like, what?
Sorry.
What does he suggest that you invest in?
You know, I haven't heard any, other than real estate, I haven't heard anything that he suggested specifically. So, yeah, I don't really know. $200 a month isn't gonna get you very much real estate.
200 to 400 monthly, even college funds.
Right.
College funds.
I mean, when I say
high
savings,
school.
that's a broad.
Right, it could be
that's a
anything.
broad, right.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, that's what I've learned is that, you know, investing is big, and so.
Yeah.
I know that will be something that I wanna look into. Just kind of figuring out, I don't know anything about investments, so I'm just figuring out like what would maybe be a good start, or like I have even like my not 401k.
Do you have a tax accountant, or do you just go wherever?
We can go to it now. Accountant, yeah.
Can't remember. County Tax Solutions.
Okay, yeah, we go to Noel,
Oh, okay.
so, I don't know, he's awesome. I don't know how well he'll do with this business. He does awesome with daycare. I don't know how well he'll do with
He'll
this.
do just fine. If he does daycare, he'll do just fine.
This is who?
Or
tax.
tax person. So,
Daycare is an at-home
He
business. He knows.
totally,
knows how to deal with it.
he totally roots on this still. He's like, oh my gosh, you started one of those. So that's why I was like,
For
oh,
tax
no.
accountant.
Our tax accountant, she's like amazed. The first year I used to use at Home America, now I usually like, holy buckets.
Well,
And I try
and-
to get her to flip over and join. But some people are so, they need that job security of going in every single day, having their insurance paid for and those kinds of things.
And I think that's what I struggle with the
You just don't
daycare.
understand.
Like with daycare. Dan and I were talking about it the other day, and he goes, you know, you just don't really seem happy anymore doing daycare. And I'm like, I really do like it. I like
You guys
being
are too
home.
sloshed to get up,
Oh
so.
my goodness.
I like.
I would take
my
like
gosh.
salty, I feel like I don't need
That's
sugar.
enough.
I feel like chips and
This is
salsa.
sweet enough. Thank you, though.
Do you guys want chips and salsa? That'd be, I don't want sugar, I want salt.
I actually have a plate full of
Wait,
stuff
maybe
I
I'll
don't
have
eat
one dark chocolate.
yet.
I like dark chocolate, that's
I
a
love
little bitter,
dark
but it's not real sweet.
One, you just grab two.
Sorry.
He had said that since he went with me in January, or not January, July, he was like just asking like, why don't I just jump in, you know, all the way? And I think part of me is scared because I know with daycare, like it's here, and, you know, not even if a family leaves, I know obviously it's very easy to find another family. If I like them or not is a good question, but so. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of hung up with, like, what if I can't do it? You know?
You have to tell yourself, give yourself a timeline to get where you need to go, to be able to get to that point where you can say, now at this point where I'm making more than I was.
Popcorn for the kids.
I just wonder if I
Wow,
struggle
sugar.
with the balance
In the-
between popcorn daycare and doing it works. Like, I don't feel
This
like
is,
I'm able to invest enough time
California.
into it, but I'm worried of jumping into it full time and not knowing what to do. You know, like it's
But
so
you don't-
much time. So I, you know, like that's where my struggle is right now. Cause I know I could do it. I'm worried about like, you know, when this BOGO comes around and like, I feel like I'm running out of people to talk to about it.
Well, then when you're getting your likes and comments and adding mutual friends on Facebook, I mean, I'm always adding mutual friends on Facebook
have this.
every day.
I
I'm
know.
adding at least 3 to 5. I'm up to almost 3,000 friends on Facebook. And then when Instagram, you get all those likes and all those people, all those names can go on your hundreds list. Every person who ever likes on your thing or ever comments, those are people to add to your hundreds list and to message.
Well, and so that's what I need to hear. I
So
need
you're
to
constantly
hear that.
adding
I know
names.
that, but I need to hear it, you know?
Right. And so, I mean, obviously John and I mean, we've done that. He's let construction go,
Wow.
and he let that go before most people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and the license came up and he said, we're all in with It Works. We're not even gonna, I mean, it's total faith and trust. But we also said we gotta get to Double Diamond first,
Well,
to
and
6,000 per month. And has there been ebb and flow? Yes, there has been. I mean, like, our paycheck hasn't always been amazing. As you guys all know, your
Right.
paycheck goes up and down, and you're always, you're always in a sense bringing on distributors, and you're always bringing on loyal customers, hence the step to success. That's why they're set there. Because people's life is always going, in and out, up and down. People are quitting, people are coming in, people are taking a break, then they get back in. So that's just the normal thing.
well, I think that really scares me because
That can happen with your daycare kids and families too. People could say, I'm done with, I'm done.
well, I know
Being
I've
here, we
been
lost
there.
our jobs, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom now. I mean, any of that can happen.
Well, but like I said, with that, I see the lull of like customers that I've brought on, and I've had like this last few months has been more than I've had for a long time. So I know that that's God's hands. Honestly, it's all in His hands. But like with daycare, I had that happen where they're like, yeah, here's my 2 week notice. And well, I mean, I get one call a day asking if I have openings.
Yeah.
So I just always know that even if it isn't the ideal fit, I can make that work. Where I
Do
always,
you want to open at 4:30 in the morning?
what?
Do you want to open at 4:30 in the morning?
Why for?
No, sorry,
No.
no.
Tasha, who she's fostering her nieces, and the one niece who's a year old is in daycare in North Mankato, and the daycare lady is she does not communicate well at all. She just
I feel like I don't communicate with my family either. I try, but
like
I
for the last 2 weeks.
shaking off.
Last 2 weeks, Tasha's been asking when are you off for the holidays, and she really didn't. She didn't post anything and say anything. Just like up until about a month ago, Tasha would carry Shelby in her infant car seat, and just by the smell of the car seat at the end of the day, the child was probably in it 6 out of 8 hours that she was there.
So not okay, probably.
And this lady's mom did my daycare, and she was amazing, and I loved her, and I still love her to pieces.
Her
Her mom.
So her mom did
Her
this
mom
is your
did.
daughter.
Yeah. She's now on her own.
It's too bad.
It is. It is.
Some people just aren't cut out for it.
No.
Yeah, you have to kind of decide what you want. I mean, truly, you have to sit down and say, what do I want?
Wow.
Do I want to own my time? Or do I want to have a daily response? I mean, you still are responsible with your business. I mean, John and I still have responsibilities as leaders with It Works Global and to a team. So you just have to pick your heart. Anything you do is going to be hard, no matter if you work in the bank,
absolutely.
no matter if you work cleaning houses, no matter if you whatever. You have to decide what your heart is going to be.
Yeah.
And for us, this is awesome.
Well,
To be able to say that we can totally bring anything that is
Yes.
straight.
Getting better.
There is popcorn if we want, just not in the microwave, but I have some other popcorn.
I think I would feel more comfortable having. I did spell it right, didn't I?
No, it's just, I like your handwriting.
Yeah, she's cute.
Oh,
You don't like mine?
I'm not fancy like that.
You hear that? It's legible. Mine's not.
I think for me, it would be more like just really comforting knowing I had like someone to do it with, like someone to help me keep it myself accountable, if that makes sense. I've been trying, like even with my brother, I'm like, dude, he's gonna lose his job. I know it's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. His boss is just not very nice.
What do you do?
He gosh, what is it? A loan processor, I believe. And it's just not a right fit for him. It's really not. And he doesn't believe me that this could do something for him. Like, if you could only see.
Can you
What
see the
I
man
see-
side of it from all of our, products?
I haven't, he won't even look into it. If he would, I would share it, but he's just not.
Is your brother or brother-in-law?
My brother. I don't like my brother-in-laws that much. so that's, a struggle, but I'm like, gosh, even if I had him to work with, we would be an awesome team. And I know we would. It's just a matter of getting him to believe it. So.
Well, once you get somebody on your team that wants to really go for it too, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a difference when you finally get somebody who really wants to go somewhere with it.
Well, and I
It's just
think that
different.
would really help
Yeah.
a lot. So,
They're
yeah, I don't
aggressive
know,
and
I'm
they're-
just, and I won't add my spouse to my team because I just know that it's not right, so. Yeah, it's tough. I know that there's so many days that even now I struggle with, like, sitting down and taking the time to do the stuff that I know I need to do. And that's where getting up early would help. I just had to.
Do the things that you least like first.
Exactly.
So if that's some messaging or following up with the people who liked on your post from the day before, 2 days before, that you haven't commented or messaged with them or inbox them, then do that first.
Well, and it's,
You know? And then get it done. Then you feel like, you know what, I did my messaging today. I did my 10.
yeah.
I did my 15. Now I move on.
Well, and I think what happens is that, I always count on like that nap time. And that's when I was very productive. I'm like, okay, I had 2 hours. I knew this is what I had to accomplish. I did my personal development. I did my follow-up. And then all of a sudden, my kids stopped napping. And then one of the daycare kids, he wasn't going to bed till 10:30. So they're like, okay, well, can he like only take an hour nap? Okay, I can do that. And so then my work time turned into maybe a half hour if my kids left me alone.
Right.
So
Right.
it's I
You
need
give them electronics.
Tegan's really good about just finding something to do. She's not really into the iPad. Evie, she could sit with that thing for 4 hours and not move. So it
Like a
depends
movie
on
time or
which.
whatever.
Well, but the thing is, when they don't, I won't sit for a movie either, but I struggle with them not napping, like especially Evie. Like, I think I just get so worked up that she's not listening
Yeah.
that's where my focus is. 'Cause I'm just like, it's free.
But that's just
There you go.
How many viewers do we have? Do we have even one? You guys see?
Mhm.
This one?
Probably just Stacy.
It's by lovely Stacy. I did want to read this. Do you guys want me to read this from Cammie? I thought it was very good. She's so rockin' awesome. Well, yeah, it's TJ and Lisa, my brother and sister-in-law. Their anniversaries today, so is Jessica and Paul's together. All right, so
Here
here.
is Sean and I's first dating anniversary.
Aww. Well, happy anniversary. You guys gonna do something fun for that?
No.
That's funny. Oh wait, let's see, Carrie. Maybe your Carrie's on. She commented on
Oh,
our post on
Carrie
my
Harling.
She's so fun.
I love her. I wish she was closer.
For some reason, it's just spinning.
I'm gonna make sure the internet actually got upgraded.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's not even letting me open my.
Did you upgrade to like the 20
Yeah.
for cheaper?
Did you too?
Yeah.
You're not noticing any difference.
Not at all, and I've asked them a couple times, and they said the next step is to get a technician out or go buy a booster because our box is downstairs.
Did we get a booster?
One
Yours
box
is up here.
Right up here.
Yeah.
And we had a new,
Hey, Sarah's art.
like their new.
So she's
router,
here. Hey, Sarah.
their new
Dream build
router.
with us. I'm gonna read something in just a
And
second.
so, I mean, it should be,
Oh, yeah, no, we have not noticed a
but I
difference at
haven't
all.
really noticed a difference yet.
I asked them, I said, did you guys really upgrade? And they're like, yeah, you're upgraded. And I was like,
Well, you have to do is do a speed test.
yeah, we did, and that wasn't.
It wasn't there?
No.
Well, then
So we should just schedule the same day and
I'll
have
have to do a, well, actually, a friend of yours was out here.
Perry Peterson.
Yes.
He said
We gave an energy and we said, talk to Sarah and Sean about it.
Yeah. He's a rock.
He said, yeah, they do this. He's really nice.
Him and Sean do fantasy football together, yeah. He's
Cool.
an awesome guy, yep. He comes out every year for Friendship Days and plays beanbags with us and stuff. Yeah.
He's a really
I
nice
should tell
guy.
him to come out and check it out.
Yeah.
see what's going on. He was real nice.
We call him Old School. That's his nickname. He's just he's like our friend's dad, but we all, hang out with him. He's just a fun guy.
Okay, so Sarah Zart with us too.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. We're drinking some wine, guys. Another cheers.
Sure,
Here we
cheers.
go to 2016.
Cheers.
Woo!
Cheers to you.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. The Lord's blessings. So we're all busy working on our dream boards. We're writing, at least for me, I wrote a promotional by March 31st, what I wanted to be at. I wrote daily things that I wanted to do, as far as even healthy eating and working out, journaling. I love Sarah. Sarah had a suggestion on savings, putting so much into like college funds, high school funds, that kind of a thing every month. So I put that down. I have a personal development book each month is my goal for 2016. Disney trip for the kids. I know that's something that they had on your guys' last dream board. The kids did. So Disney trip is on there. We're looking to move to a new house by spring. Boo. Sarah doesn't like that. Boo. 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 So
Not happening.
No.
So Sarah, if you want, you can maybe share a few things and even cheers. Cheers. Are you drinking some wine, Sarah? Zart? There's a lot of Sarahs here. Sarah Stoddard, Sarah Fitzman, Sarah Zart.
No,
Stacey
she's
too.
rapping. Sarah's rapping. So
Her legs.
She's not drinking wine, I bet.
Yeah, that's true. What was I gonna do? Something I was going to do.
Read something from
Yes, I
Carrie.
was gonna read, but I
Maybe
see
the
that
boys
Carrie's
watch
gonna
the
get on. So as soon as we get
They
Carrie
watch
on, when you guys see 3 viewers, we're gonna read something
Ernest.
that, oh yes, you're rapping, darling. Drink lots of water. Once we get Carrie Harling on here, we're gonna read something that Cammie Dempsey had given just for New Year, like things to think about going into the new year. So
What did
I'm excited for that.
What did Carrie say?
She said waiting to put her monster to bed, and then she would jump on.
Okay.
Her monster. Sarah, I did on the Buddha moving as well. I get it, but that makes me sad. Oh, mwah.
Happy
We're gonna be
it's
getting
closer to me.
We're gonna be getting a private jet, so it's not gonna be any different.
They're private.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Put on your dream
It
board.
may only be to Mankato, Sarah. It could be as
Here's
far
your
as
dream board.
somewhere else too.
Put it on there.
What does Sarah Zart, or excuse me, Sarah Stoddard have on her dream board?
One personal development book a month. Lose 14 pounds by June.
Oh, 14, you might shrivel up.
Where are you gonna take that off?
Um,
I think your big toe is kind of big. Isn't
exactly.
Give me the face, please.
it? I saw a
Do
post
a
on
good one.
said no matter how much weight you gain during the holidays, it's good to know your shoes will always fit.
That's not true. Sometimes your feet grow wide too and they don't fit.
No problem. That happens. Pregnancy does that.
Yes, it
Went
does.
from a size 5 to a size 8.
And that's what you still wear today?
I went back down.
Okay, some people don't go back down.
I bet
So-
my legs were huge. Journal daily. Write down one thing I'm thankful for each day.
Hey, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
That's a good one.
Thankfulness every day. That's good.
Focus on the little things, like the small moments with my girls, instead of getting caught up in the they're not listening or this or that. Like, just
Or
really
you gonna come with me?
giving them one-on-one time, and then set aside $200 a month by investing, savings, anything like that. So
That's awesome.
that's what I have so far.
You know, I should put my word on here. Did you guys all choose your word for the year?
I haven't yet.
Mine is trust.
I'm stuck between a couple of them. I think trust is one of them that I'm thinking about, but I already trust that God has all of it.
Right.
You know, so I already trust. I think courage was the other word. Because I need the courage to believe in myself and to believe
In
that
this business model.
this can really, like, just to let go.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of other ones. Fearless. There's, I don't know, it's hard to choose a word. There's a lot.
Fearless is one I fear a lot in a lot of different areas of life.
Over Redenbacher's.
I fear the unknown. you know, if I don't know what's there, it's hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going there. I've always kind of struggled with that. And I work a little bit on it, you know, but it just hasn't been.
Yeah. Oh wait, Sarah's giving us some stuff, guys. Yeah, that's good, Sarah. Sarah Fitzer. Say which Sarah I'm talking about. She said she just got this book. Ooh, 364 Days of Thanksgiving. It's in the Team Manager Leadership. First few chapters rock, then you journal one thing a day you are thankful for. Many devotions are in there. Awesome.
Awesome.
That looks really cool, Sarah. I like that.
Do you want to step it up a notch?
No. I won't be walking, I'll be sleeping here.
And then Sarah's art, if you guys see, she gave her dream board in there too, which I love. I got to look at it earlier. This is our dream board. You see it? In the Team Manager Leadership group. Are you part of that one?
Oh, that's really cool.
I love
Very
that.
nice.
Just leadership?
It's Team Enter Leadership Group. Are you part of that one, Sarah? Let me see.
Looks really good.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I am in a few 500 groups, but I don't, Team Enter Leadership, I don't know that I'm in that one.
Okay, let me add you.
I'm in leadership, enters
If you want to be in
needs.
it. So many groups. Done. I just added you. Let's see if you can see it.
Usually, what happens is like a massive, like 6 to 10 dings in a row. Ding, ding, ding. And then you get through all the groups.
Pretty much.
Love it.
Awesome.
I needed to.
Sorry, my nose is like I have itchies. Okay. So what else did I say? Thankfulness every day. I love that.
Lisa says who's moving.
I already said
Oh,
we'd like to. Where?
Timbuktu.
To your house, Lisa.
other side of me.
You have space for us, honey?
Timbuktu, say.
Other side of me. I won't let her go farther.
Yeah, either Mankato or.
I'd love to move up into a quiet, secluded place in the mountains, but that wouldn't do any of our business any good.
Yeah.
Wake up to the woodpeckers knocking on the trees.
No way.
I'm sure my in-laws will be moving soon. Once over in the war.
They're moving from New Ulm.
We'll move out from out of town into town probably.
okay.
They have a nice farm place.
Well, but it's over by New Ulm, I suppose.
In Floridopolis, we can just vacation there.
I thought about that for a while. Moving to a farm place, but then I started thinking too that this really didn't make sense.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah.
To move out. in the
Better not be
country.
a Packers fan.
She is. She's from Wisconsin.
Boo, Amelia. If you guys move though, I have to approve of the new homeowners.
The new owners.
You have to meet them first.
She's gonna be over here scaring away everyone.
We want to, before we actually put it on the market, we're gonna change the countertops.
Okay.
And we're gonna get a refrigerator and a stove and an oven.
So it'll be a little while yet.
And then we're
Thank
gonna try to do that quickly here.
No.
And
I'll
the
do that
backsplash and all that, we're gonna paint the kitchen, I think, and take all that ugly tile off there.
Just
and
help with the work and then like screw it up.
Screw it up. That's funny. And then we want to finish the laundry room. So
Okay.
John wants to put the washer dryer at the, instead of it being so narrow and hallway-like, he wants to put those down there at the end.
Yeah,
So that it's bigger space.
makes sense.
And we need to change the floor because it still has linoleum, the original linoleum, and paint it in there. And so there's a few things, but otherwise we pretty much remodeled the whole
You're ready.
stinking house.
Yeah.
The bathrooms, the
You guys
basement
added
hallway.
this room, didn't you?
This was a screened-in
Oh,
deck
yeah,
porch.
that's right.
So that was French doors there. And then John took that out and put it, whatever you call that,
Energy.
you know, whatever. What's that called? A cathedral ceiling or whatever?
Oh yeah, it didn't have it.
Didn't have that.
Didn't have that in either.
I
And we
can't
wish-
imagine your dining room like out there.
Yeah, that's.
I just,
So underneath that one fan was how the other people had it before us. Their dining room table was underneath that fan.
It's very cozy.
Mhm.
I mean, for a 5-bedroom home, because there's 2
Right.
bedrooms up here. Actually 3 if the office was a
Yeah.
nursery.
yeah,
and then 2 more downstairs, 3 bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, but this area here was not big.
No.
It doesn't make sense to have that many bedrooms and have your main area
Tiny.
not be that big.
What you gotta do though?
Yeah. But the basement wasn't finished when we moved in, so we finished all that off.
Yep.
It was all,
So they had bedrooms down there, but not the rest of it was.
they were all, what do you call that? They were all studded.
Downstairs was?
Okay.
Well, we actually took out walls too, opened it up by the family.
Have you ever been down there, Sarah?
It's like quiet down there. What are they doing?
I'm watching a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny movie.
So I was gonna read what Cammie Dempsey had sent that she was gonna read.
Sweet.
To her crew on Friday.
I've just kind of gotten into this, 7, 8 o'clock. It's like it's time to eat again.
Oh my goodness, I know. Okay, so here we go. Living the dream routine. Where is that? Right here. All right, so we're gonna read. What the world? Gonna send it.
It's on my front markers open, so
Oh.
wasn't smelling it anymore, but
You're one of those people that open it up, you're like,
not at all. No, I can usually smell it very potently and close it right away. But
So this is a little bit long, but this is, she said she was gonna share it with her people. So this one says, start life over. Stop reacting to life and start living with intention. It's by Donald Miller. It says, let's be honest, traditional goal setting just doesn't work. We all start out with good intentions, but along the way we get distracted or discouraged. If you are serious about achieving what matters most, you need a different approach. New York Times bestselling author Michael Hyatt has a proven 5-step process to help you get clear, get motivated, and get started on the path toward achieving your most important goals. And he says, years ago, I was really overweight, pretty sad, isolated, and alone, and not very productive. Basically, I'd come to believe a lie about life, and it was this. Life is something that happens to you, not something you can steer and change. It's a crazy lie to believe, but I find different people believe it in different percentages. But those who believe it the least are the most likely to succeed. Get that? At Storyline, we've helped more than 25,000 people live completely differently. We've helped them sit down with God and dream up a new life together. When we do things with God rather than for God, we bond with Him. And I think that's what God wants most, intimacy. He's a connector and He's a healthy dad. That's cute. So here we go. He's got some principles. And he says, will you join us on this journey of taking ownership of our lives rather than being victims to it? Will you become one of the people who do beautiful, amazing things with your life? The bigger our community gets, the more we live into these ideas ourselves. We need you. Here are 5 principles I've picked up along the way that have allowed me to change, to start over, and to own my life. The first principle is this. You are designed to change. Can everybody hear? Hopefully they can hear at home. It says, a couple years ago, I wrote a blog about how I'm glad I'm not the same person I was when I wrote Blue Like Jazz. For those of you who don't know my writing, Blue was my first breakthrough book. I wrote it in my late 20s, and it spent many weeks on various bestseller lists. That said, when I wrote the book, I was 150 pounds heavier, lonely, codependent, and emotionally isolated. I only say that because over the years, my writing has changed. Hopefully, I'm still vulnerable, but I'm not as messed up as I used to be. And you know what's strange? People miss the old messed up me. They say, I miss the old Dawn. Well, I have to tell you, I don't. Things that stay the same aren't healthy. These days, life isn't perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better. I'm down 150 pounds. I built an amazing community, and my business has quadrupled. I even got married. I've changed, and I'm glad. For years, though, it was hard for me to change, and one of the main reasons, there are 5, I couldn't improve my life was because I didn't realize I actually could change. I thought people were just people and we were stuck as we were, but that was a lie. Here's a principle that has everything to do with becoming somebody different. Every healthy thing God created changes. If something doesn't change, it's dead. God designed the world so that it is in constant motion, never sitting still, always dying and being reborn. That's true when you think about that. It's constantly moving. Everything is changing all the time, even you. Physically, you will regenerate several times before you die. We've heard that. Dr. Don talks about that, how you get a new liver every, you know what I mean? Do you guys remember hearing him say that? Like constantly. Okay, so it says, you regenerate several times before you die. The skin you have now will not be the same skin you have in 7 years. What this means for us is we get to let go of the mistakes we've made in the past. We also get to let go of the identity other people want to trap us in. We get to change. We get to become somebody different. One of the ways God encourages us to change is by constantly starting things over. He created you to sleep. This is kind of cool. So every night you lie down and go into an odd kind of coma for about 8 hours and then wake up and start another day. Think of it like a do-over. And it's not only you. The whole earth is starting over every morning. And it's not only days that start over, it's the seasons too. Isn't that true?
Well, I think the thing that I like most about the subconscious mind, or about sleep, is the idea of the subconscious mind. And that is that, not only can you go to bed with a problem, and your subconscious mind will wake up and give your conscious mind
some ideas on how to figure it out.
An answer for it. Or the fact that you can lay down with problems on your mind and have relaxation while you sleep. Even if you wake up and feel, I guess, smothered by them again the next day, you had 8 hours of rest too.
So soon it will be spring again for the millionth time, but it will be all new to us. And then summer and then fall, always changing, always starting over, always inviting us to do the same. I meet people occasionally who think of themselves the way I used to think of myself when I was so unhealthy. They think of themselves as fixed beings. That is, beings who cannot change. But this is a lie. We can change, and we're designed to change. Still though, even if I can convince them they were designed to change, as is obvious, then they believe change is hard. Really? Why should something so natural, so ingrained in our design be hard? One of the most
Because it's ingrained in our design.
One of the most freeing realizations I've ever had is that I was designed to change. Once I realized that, I was able to let go of the old me so the new me could get created. I didn't have to be scared, lazy, or controlled by fear anymore. That me could die away and a new me could start growing out of the ashes. I could be somebody different. Of course, nobody changes overnight, but nobody changes at all if they don't believe they're supposed to. So here's the question. Do you believe you were designed to change? And if so, what's stopping you? I mean that literally. What's stopping you from changing? In the next entry, I'll talk about the second thing I believe stops us from changing and what we can do about it. For now, let's meditate on the idea we are all designed to change. I've changed and I'm glad. God thinks it's okay for you to change too. So I was going to talk about that, like for me personally.
Well, just wait. I think that it's easy. The same thing that makes, like that our skin and everything changes and that we're designed to change. It's like such a thin line, so that which makes us able to change also can hold us back. Kind of like, really?
That's a sugar rush there.
And then,
no, like brandy.
And then on the flip side of it, it's kind of like our whys.
Yes.
Your why can either propel you or it can actually
hold you back,
scare you to the point where you're like, well, I don't know. Kind of like some of the things you guys were talking about, like not having enough security maybe to go forward, or just whatever that might look like. But I've noticed that the idea of going full bore or full on success is such a thin line between doing it and not doing it, that's the really interesting thing. And that's what if you guys want to read a book, The Slight Edge is like super terrific.
That's a free audiobook on YouTube.
That one and Earl Nightingale's
Oh gosh, I love that.
You can listen to that every day.
The Strangest Secret. If you read those two books, over and over again, I really think that that's just about all you need besides the Bible. And if you intertwined all three of those, you'd have it.
Second principle. You guys want to talk about that? You want to talk anything about
I was just
changing?
Say with the change, a lot of times we think that like for example, oh, my parents were that way, so I'm just gonna be that way. And I see that a lot in some specific situations, and it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to, like, you have a choice. You don't have to turn out the same way, or you don't have to make the same decisions. And sometimes it's hard. I know, even with like changing, like churches or, whatever, you don't have to follow the same footsteps. Everyone has their own opinion, and you have to do what's right for you. You really do. And but it's hard. It is very hard. And because you just, we're afraid of being judged.
We just watched, I think it was called Uncommon Valor. And it was, with your dad. It was, and this has actually been out for a while, but it was about Navy SEALs and going in and doing a job and stuff. And at the end of the movie, they had a really cool quote. I can't remember the exact language of it, but it basically had to do with some people are going to get to the end of their lives and they're going to hope for just a couple of minutes or days to like relive some portions of their life, so that because they screwed it up, they didn't do it the way they think they should have. But they said for the Navy SEALs or whatever, these guys are going out there and they're doing something that the heart is just flat out into, and there's no regrets. And if they die today or the next minute or 20 years from now, it doesn't matter. Life is a gift, and they're using it all the time. And I don't know. The thing that I think about is to make sure that when I'm living my life, I'm living it every minute the way I think that I ought to be doing it, and so that I don't get to some point at the end of my life and think, well, I was really living it for somebody else, or what they thought I should do. It's not easy. It's not easy. I can't go into all that right now because you know what I'm saying? It's not easy because first of all, I think I'm not even sure which one comes first. Your internal subconscious paradigms that really handcuff you to the way you are, or those people that are closest to you, your family and your close friends. Because honestly, when your family and your close friends see you changing, I think even if you're making good changes, you're changing from what you were, and they don't recognize that.
And that's what he was saying here in this
It can be
journal.
really, really good.
Right.
It can be really good for everybody, for you, but they don't recognize that.
Well, it's scary for them because you're not the same person that they've
That they
always
recognize.
known. Change is scary for everybody.
Right. And they assume maybe you're going down a different path,
Right.
whatever that might be. And I think that's probably where conversation helps, when you have a conversation or you have open dialogues to say, this is what I'm doing. You might see a little bit less of me for a time, but just know that I love you the same. And it's, like Cammie says, we're giving up something good right now, maybe for something great, something legacy, life-changing, something that could change
And you gotta remember,
generations.
when you get better, it forces a whole lot of people around you to get better too. It may push those that they weren't really your friends though. They really didn't love you if they don't want the best for you, if that makes sense.
Well, here's a simple analogy.
That's not a good thing when your friends are not supporting and encouraging, and especially when you're not going the wrong way, you're getting better.
Right.
Things are changing. They should really, a good friend would be like, wow, I want to learn more about what you're doing.
Here's a simple analogy too. You have a little dish of water, and you have water in here, and you dump in a little bit of oil. That oil bonds together, and it just comes together. And the water, those two things, though they exist in the same plane, in the same field, in the same bowl, they exist together, but they don't bond together. And that's kind of the way it is when there's change. You really don't. I mean, when you sort of pull apart in some ways. But is that, if you really want things to remain the way they were, then don't change.
Don't do anything different.
And that's a personal assessment for everyone to make. What am I really, and that's really where I think your why comes in.
Mhm.
Because it's not like, I wanna have $1 million. That's not a good enough why.
No.
That's nothing. That's like, I wanna win the lottery. I wanna get lucky.
Right.
That's not change.
Why do you want what you want?
Changes, or, the desire for something comes from the subconscious, so that when you go to sleep, your subconscious figures out ways to attain the change that your conscious mind is looking for.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's powerful.
I'm trying to think. I just saw
How we doing?
something
Good.
the other day about making a change. If you complain about where you're at, but you aren't looking for a change, then you're really not, like, you're satisfied with where you are, even though you complain about it.
Mhm.
Like, it was something along the lines of that. I don't know if I saved it. It was
Well,
really powerful.
Shall I make
Critiquing,
them a bag of popcorn or take them some of that?
This is not so bad.
Take some of this.
it would be nice.
Do you wanna take this down there?
They should come up here.
Oh.
Because Gideon actually goes back and
Oh. Do you wanna tell them to come up and get something if they want?
Yeah. Or they can come up and get us.
Force them on there, no one
I think
can
that,
come up there.
we've kind of come to the, if you're gonna critique, fine. Or criticize, even if you're gonna do that, if it's gonna come to that, fine. But you really ought to have a problem-solving suggestion or implementation that you are willing to take part in if you choose to do that.
Right.
If not, you're really just adding conflict to the situation.
Okay, so,
Want some popcorn right here, bud?
you guys want a plate full of
There's the
stuff?
garbage.
There's
a garbage.
So that was the first one. So the first thing you guys gotta do, we all have to do, is you were designed to change. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
You are not meant to stay the same your whole life long.
Right.
Now, we all know people who do stay the same and don't ever change, too. They get stuck in their old ways,
Okay.
you know? The second thing is, you are in relationship with yourself. Make it a healthy one, okay? This one is a little complicated, but I promise it will make sense by the end of the entry. And it's the most powerful idea I've ever come to understand. First, though, I have to confess something. I'm very driven by other people's approval of me.
Mhm.
I mean, if somebody doesn't like me or think I'm good, I did a good job, it hurts.
Mhm.
I feel like a loser. Mostly I sense this passively. Like I just get angry or hurt or something. I'm not often willing to admit they're affecting me, but on an honest day, I'll tell you the truth. Other people's opinions mean a lot to me. In fact, they have the power to name me, to tell me who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Just-
As I've grown older and read more and more about psychology, I've realized that. In part, this is by design. We really do shape our opinions about ourselves in large part through the opinions of others. It's as though we wear certain clothes and act a certain way and try to succeed at things so other people will tell us we are good or valuable. Isn't that crazy? And when they do, we feel a little bit better about ourselves. And when they don't, we start thinking we are losers. But one day I had a dramatic realization. I spent a few hours with a friend I have a great deal of respect for. He's the kind of guy I'd really like to be. He's kind, productive, generous, and humble, and super disciplined and respectable. He almost always wears a nice suit, but is never snooty. Not that that matters, but it's kind of cool, right? Well, later that night, I caught myself disrespecting myself a little bit. Just being overly critical.
Mhm.
And then it hit me. I'm in a relationship with myself. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but if you think about it, we do really operate like two people. We are a person who lives and breathes and does things. Then we are another person who judges ourselves. It's as though we have a critic in our own brain. Now, some people's critics are too harsh and judgmental for sure, and that's a whole other issue. Perhaps one that needs counseling. That's not a knock. I spent hours in counseling. Then I had another major epiphany, and it was this. The reason I respect my friend so much is because he does respectful things. I mean, he's disciplined and considerate and generous and kind, and well, he doesn't look like a slob. So I began to wonder, if I do more respectful things, perform more generous actions, and well, dress a little better, will I actually have a little more self-respect? In other words, because I'm in a relationship with myself, maybe I should act in such a way that myself could respect myself a little more. Isn't that interesting? John, are you listening to this?
Mhm.
Okay, we're mad.
Respect myself.
And
a
it
little
worked.
more.
I would find myself wanting to eat a half gallon of ice cream while watching television. And I asked myself, if you skip this, would you have a little more respect for yourself? And the truth is, I would. So I skipped it, and I had much more self-respect. I liked myself more. The sort of thing translated into a whole host of other areas in my life. I started holding my tongue a little bit more and found I respected myself more when I was more thoughtful in conversation. I find myself less willing to people please because, well, people who people please aren't as respectable, right? Here's another thing I realized. Human beings aren't really motivated by goals. They're motivated by character transformation. Every story that we love is about a character who doubts himself in the beginning and believes in himself at the end. Isn't that awesome? The most powerful stories are about people who learn something about themselves that changes their identity for the better. The reason I bring this up, when you dangle the carrot of, I will respect you more if you make a better decision here in front of your nose, it's incredibly motivating. Well, we all want to be loved. We all want to feel approval, so why not get into a healthy relationship with yourself where you do respectful things to earn your own respect? I've noticed the people I admire the most are the people who respect themselves, who have standards that seem to have little to do with the opinions of others and much to do with their opinions of themselves. When we rely on the opinions of others to shape us, we're getting into dangerous territory. The reality is it's a competitive and fallen world. People mean well and are often very nice, but we're all competing for some kind of social validation that we wrongly believe is scarce. So the idea that another person's view of you will be objective is unlikely. People will view you through the filter that benefits them the best. That's why it's so important to have a great relationship with yourself. It's important to be objective, as it is to be fair and to do the things that help you respect yourself and create your own sense of self-worth. I'd confuse people if I didn't mention that God is the one who ultimately names us and gives us our worth. This is so good. Certainly this is true. It's true at our core, soul level. But we are much more relational than that. Ultimately, our relationships with ourselves and with others has dramatic sway. Perhaps this is because of the fall of man. I'm not sure, but I do know that nobody I know is not affected by the opinions they have of themselves or the opinions they receive of others. It's powerful stuff, and for that reason, I'd rather us filter those opinions so they're based on fact and are fair and objective. And you're the best person to do that in your life. So in summary, people are deeply motivated by the potential transformation of how they see themselves. The opinions of others can be nice, but it's hardly objective. You are in a relationship with yourself, and your opinion of yourself can help transform you. And we know that, like belief in yourself and stuff. You'll respect yourself a lot more if you do respectful things.
I think when you survive on the opinions of others, really you're a reactionary person.
Right.
You're not a person of action, because
Right.
a leader, person of action, goes out and does whether or not they have the approval of the masses or not.
Well, with that too, why would you put so much value or give someone so much
Of you.
power over
you.
your happiness?
Mhm.
Over,
But
like,
isn't-
it's easy to do, but
Isn't that what we do? I mean, even like when you're following the politicians, what is it? Politician does something on the news one night and the ratings come out the next day. We are taught to do things that our peers approve of.
Mhm.
We're even taught to, take true value from what our peers say. Well,
Millie, will you bring us a bottle of water in?
there's constructive criticism, stuff that we grow from, and then there's just plain, whatever the masses are saying. Generally, we like to, usually run the other direction from what the masses are doing.
So it's saying, start listening to the voice inside and start earning its respect by doing respectful things. You'd be surprised at how fair and balanced you actually are when you change your decision so that yourself can start to respect yourself. Okay, that's the second one. You guys want to talk anything more about that? Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
I've had so much alcohol, I'm like,
Do you want?
want?
I brought one
Do
for
you
Noah.
okay, Dad, do you want one? Or do you want just a cup?
He's like,
You
I
can
got
have
that,
it.
sounds good.
Thank
She
you.
can get another one for Noah too.
I don't know.
You want one, John?
Thank you, Amelia.
Are you sure, Dad?
It's such a good little hostess.
Man,
She
she is.
It's hard. It seems almost hard to respect yourself because I know, like with me, I don't want to just step out, and I have a really hard time stepping up and doing my own thing. Like, I always want approval. It makes me feel better when I have approval. That's a hard one. That's a really, really hard one. I think that's where like the journaling would help. The daily devotions and the daily journaling would help me.
I think you have to remember though that
Way to not put your lips on
I
that.
made that stuck
when you're growing up, that's exactly how our subconscious brain is cultivated. Think about it. As a little baby sitting here, when they smile, everybody's like, giving them praise.
Yeah.
When they do something good,
Yeah.
everybody gives praise.
Yep.
And we learn to react
Yep.
off of what everybody's doing, the praise. So it's like a natural, why would we do something different than what we've learned? We learn most of what we know in that first, 7 years? So we've actually taken a lot of time this year jumping into our own psychology, unpeeling the onion to find out why we do the things we do. And so and that's where like the Slight Edge and even The Stranger's Secret really go into, like, if you can figure out why you're doing something, you can change.
Yeah,
So
you
how
can
do you
catch
teach
yourself.
your kids that though? Because I even see that with, the girls where they're always seeking approval. Or, if I laugh at something they do, they continue to do it because I laughed the first time. And it's not that it's really funny, it just maybe caught me off guard and I found it funny at the moment because I needed a laugh. But, like, how do you, and this is a topic for another time, but how do you teach that to them? Because they're at that prime age where I could really impact their thinking, especially before they head off to school.
Right. I think the funny thing is,
It's hard because everything around is just
see, you want to
everybody's
get a head start on it, and I
Yeah.
agree, that'd be a fantastic thing to do to get people pointed in the direction at an early age. The funny thing is, when you really look
Yeah, teach grandma.
at a guy
So I said
like
that she's
Tony
a
Robbins,
child.
for example, or yeah, right. Or
Just remembered another
who's
thing I
another
wanted to add.
one? Susie Orman. She's another one.
The money gal.
All these people, they all came from, they had a tough childhood. Some of them had abuse, stuff like that. What made them actually change after a while, or realize that they should change, was they realized that they could be something more than what their past had told them they could be. That was a conscious realization. Here's the thing. I think that it's probably actually kind of hard, and I could be wrong about this because I'm not actually a psychologist, but I think it's tough. I think it's tough to actually do that connection with kids. The reason why I say it is because I've been trying to, teach my kids things maybe that I did wrong and try not have them make those same pitfalls. But here they have to. They actually have to have mistakes.
Yeah.
I just mean, like if there's something that I can do to help them, like obviously I know they're gonna learn from mistakes and they're not always going to listen, but even if they get the lesson now, maybe when they are older and they've made the mistakes, they realize, okay, like they'll recognize it sooner, versus later. Is, the whole, like.
One thing that I would say would be, like, let's over here with your fingers and then use your pointer as.
So hard, I always knock it down. I can get
It's
through
so
it.
cute.
Ready?
It's so cute.
Or you
That
could,
is you. Like, how do I do this?
you should
Who
see
can
when,
get that? Who can get
you should see
that?
when she's had some wine.
I have had some wine. They are seeing it. I'm calm. Usually I'm crazy.
Anyone lays on the floor and puts her feet up on the wall and just
Well,
doesn't
the
I
crazy story.
totally missed that, but oh my gosh.
you were on the phone upstairs signing up in the oil.
That was fun. And then Nate was wearing your your socks on
I
his
saw
hand.
that.
To the ground. I'm like, what's he
doing?
That was a fun night.
It was. It was.
We try to, one thing that we try to do with our kids is, so, when you're a kid, you're constantly being told no, right? Constantly. Our kids are like, Dad, you always say no. So we actually try to find ways to say yes.
But maybe a revised.
So like when they say like the kids have been bugging us for like a
I heard you're buying them a big snowball thrower thing. They were outside yesterday. Is Mom really gonna buy us that snowball? Like,
maker chucker thing.
yeah.
Are we?
I didn't.
Where was it? Menards?
Yes.
It's not from Menards. It's not like some big, huge.
You know, a lot of times when you're a kid, you're like, you remember being told, well, we can't do that, or no, because we don't have the money.
Right.
And so now
Oh, that's a terrible, like, cloudy
we
picture.
try to be like, well,
These are
can you help me think of ways that we could?
Yeah, that was
Like,
funny. That was so funny. I was
So
dying.
now they actually put their subconscious and their conscious to work
Dying.
on ways that we could do that. And we even had them to the point where they're like, well, let us go sell wraps,
Mhm.
you know, and so they'll
They
be
won their
like,
Xbox. Yeah.
so like, you know, we'll be at maybe like a basketball game, and they'll be like, hey, we could sell wraps here. They'll all of a sudden remember, we're like, no, you are not chasing down our friends to
They don't
do that.
understand. I mean, you know.
That's actually, Tegan really picks up on that, where we've been struggling with her and poor behavior choices. And I call her out on that very frequently. And she gets very discouraged. You always say that I'm, not listening. You always say that I'm not a good friend or this or that. And so I've been trying to.
Praise her when she does
When she
it
does
well.
something really great.
Yes, and when she says that, then I'll say, well, you were awesome at doing this, this, and this today. You're just not making good choices now.
Right.
Or, but it's a very, I feel so bad that that's what she's picking up on. Or she has even caught on to, will say, hey, okay, we're not gonna do this now, but maybe after supper we can have you do your art project. And she'll be like, no, I want to do it now because after supper you're going to tell me right away that it's time to get ready for bed and then I won't have time to do it. You're very smart. You're picking
Oh, yeah.
up on that. And it's not that we ever mean it, it's just that she's a dawdler. Quite honestly, she dawdles.
Well, it's funny because like, you know how, Mark will put out
very fuzzy.
Mark
That's
will
very
put out
good.
carrots to incentivize us.
He gets very hurt easily.
And let's face it, there's a
And
ton of
people say,
incentives out there right now.
We
And I
just
think
wanna
that a
be
lot
just-
of people,
just so
a lot of
sad.
people get excited for like
We didn't
3
have that right now.
seconds.
No,
and
we
then,
didn't take a rock.
Opposite.
they sort of just,
Yeah.
it's
Because
like,
all night
it's
was
commonplace.
Solid.
But if you look at kids,
Big time.
like Gideon today, I had told him, he had asked
Did
to
you see
play
the tunnel they built?
Wii or
It's cool.
It's just
the
a
iPad.
pile
And
in my front yard, just a tunnel.
Right,
Yeah.
I told him, he wanted to play that, and I said, well, if we get things cleaned up, then, come check with me. So he was busy, he vacuumed this whole floor up here, was downstairs vacuuming, and
Yeah.
even to the point where Liz was like, we haven't even heard from him in a while,
Still back
She's like, that kid must be on a mission, there must be something that,
I'm like, what did you
Isn't
tell me
incentivized,
now?
man.
Because he's been back for like half an hour. He's all over the house with the vacuum. Like,
I
awesome.
mean, I think kids today are very easily incentivized,
Mm-hmm.
so if you can
That
find
is
a
true.
way to talk their
Find
language.
out her love language.
Yeah,
You ever
well,
read that book? The Five
oh
Love
yeah, I
Languages of Love?
have, and it's just, it's not my love language, it's really hard to. She is very,
Is she touchy-feely or is she?
no, Evie's the touchy-feely one, she needs the snuggles. Tegan is she wants to be praised and she wants to be acknowledged. And like she
Recognition,
really
whatever.
does, she does well if we have a chart with like stickers and saying, okay, you get a sticker for good behavior, this or that. Like she does really well with that. That's just not, I struggle with keeping up with it because she remembers everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh,
that's
the
too-
child
good.
has
I remember
memories. She has the best memory ever.
Oh, hey Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa, glad
So
you
glad
made
you
it
made it
home.
home safely, honey. Have a glass of wine like we're doing. Here, let's do another cheers. Do another cheers. Cheers.
I'm good.
Here we go.
Oh,
Cheers.
cheers.
Oh, we're sharing again?
Sarah's going for a potty break.
Oh.
It's been a while.
Cheers to you, Alyssa.
Cheers.
We're just talking about, Cami Dempsey gave us a little, some New Year things to think about. And so I'm reading those and we're just discussing a little bit on that as we're making our dream boards. So I'll wait till she gets back. But yeah, it's
Why do we
interesting.
always put all this food out in front of us?
I know. Good stuff. So you're designed to change. That was the second one. And the third is, or the second one was, excuse me, change was first. Relationship with yourself, make it a healthy one. Right? That's what I was reading. Good stuff. And the next one is going to be, well, I'll talk about it. Sarah gets back in the bathroom. We're eating popcorn, drinking wine. I'm really relaxed. Are you too?
I should have worn my pajamas.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully everybody else watching, tuning in, and they're in their PJs. I was gonna say, have your friends noticed a change in you as far as just starting with It Works and all that? And
Oh, yeah. Just more aware of everything and just a happier person with myself. I mean, for one thing.
More confident.
More confident.
I think
For
your
sure.
first dress was with us, wasn't it? Wearing your first dress?
Well, not my first, but
You don't wear
yeah,
them very often. You
I
start
don't wear
wearing them.
dresses ever.
And swimsuit. Really huge thing.
You wanna say hi?
What
Yeah,
is
what's
the
that?
attire for, do we know what's the conference they usually do?
Well, it's always It Works gear.
Well, I know that, I mean, like, normally they have some sort of big league to do and.
There'll be like the It Works one, and then there'll be the Candy Dempsey party. So it's
Well,
two
yeah.
nights.
I was just wondering what the works one even was.
They didn't say anything.
They haven't?
We knew the,
Okay.
we knew the white party.
That was last year.
That was last year, and I didn't hear about any theme this year.
Okay, I just didn't know if I had missed it, because I haven't really,
Sure. No, I guess I didn't see anything on that.
okay, I'm only having a carry-on, so it's
Sounds
gonna be very,
like
very limited.
exactly what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna bring along,
Well, we're gonna carry on now.
yeah, I don't,
Okay,
yoga.
third one, guys. We're almost done.
Well, you can do a carry-on and an oversized, right? Make it work.
I can always pay for checking bags, I just didn't pay for it yet.
We don't want to let the viewers see.
Holy smokes, dude.
Yeah,
What is that? What is that?
Randy.
I know, like. EJ.
Extra
EJ.
smooth.
Spending
Jack
like
and
syrup.
Jack and I were getting out help us when we were sick.
I think when
I'm not
they're,
brandy, I'm more of a whiskey girl.
I'm not either.
I did whiskey last night.
UV blue vodka is my cup of tea. And that's pure sugar, I mean, but I cannot do liquor like
that's
that.
disgusting. What we did like was, did you guys ever have the Moscow Mules? The ginger
Did
beer?
you guys see Jay's?
And I'm not a beer drinker.
You see this?
That's good. They serve them in the rusty copper cups.
Oh.
You seen those in the store? It was like Christmas gift these days.
Oh.
What's this?
Jay.
Oh, Miranda. He's so funny.
They are just hilarious.
Okay, so the third thing, guys, is sometimes it's okay to quit. So let's see what it says.
Okay.
It says if you don't have today off, you're likely bored at work. Certainly not all of you, but studies show that more than 50% of Americans are not inspired by their jobs. So that's a great something to put on Facebook. You hear that? Studies show that more than 50% of Americans are not inspired by their jobs. This really stinks. All of that college tuition, all those hours searching and hoping for a job that fulfills us has come to this, boredom. I've been there. I used to work at a company where I'd take an extra lap around the parking lot, even though there were plenty of empty spaces, just because I didn't want to go inside. And once inside, I'd waste time. But the horrible part wasn't the wasting time, it was the guilt I felt because I was wasting time. So what can be done? What can we do if we don't like our jobs? Or for that matter, what do we do if we don't like our lives? My friend Bob Goff tries to quit something every Thursday. Do you hear that? Most of the time it's small stuff, like biting his nails and stuff. But sometimes it's big stuff. He actually resigned from boards because it was a Thursday.
Why Thursday?
The idea is twofold. Get rid of anything that doesn't need to be in your life. Number two, realize that
realize you don't have to be stuck in a rut. You can quit things. I love this. If you're in a dating relationship that's been killing you, quit.
Hold on a second. Who knows what the definition of a rut is?
Oh my gosh, John.
Actual definition.
Shallow grave.
A shallow grave is a rut. Okay?
So,
Can you send this to me?
This? Yeah. If you aren't happy with that small group that you've been meeting with, quit. It's not like you're quitting your spouse or God. You're just living out the God-given reality that you've got choices and are completely allowed to make them. And if you're really bold, you can even quit your job. I know it sounds crazy, and there are all sorts of reasons we should stay. We have to feed our children. We have to make our mortgage payments. But wouldn't you just love to quit? Wouldn't you love to wake up perhaps a month from now and love your work instead of being so bored? Warren Buffett says the secret to successful people is that they learn to say no to almost everything. They aren't people who go around seeking security. They seek the big life. And because they seek it, they get it. I had a friend years ago who hated his job. He complained all the time about his associates and his boss. That didn't bother me too much. But one day when he was talking about his son, who also hated his job, he said, you know what my boy needs to learn? He needs to learn that everybody hates their job. They're supposed to hate their job. Work isn't supposed to be fun. That's in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's a quote. That's a
I
quote.
was like, wait a minute.
He said, I stood there taken aback. I completely disagreed with him. I loved my job, and the Bible said work would be hard, not that it was supposed to be miserable. Here's something I've learned over the years. People who are willing to wait for what they want have a much higher percentage chance of enjoying life in the long run. And those who choose security, listen guys, hear this?
Yeah.
Those who choose security over passion have a much higher chance of not enjoying life. You hear that? Now, I've likely offended most of the people reading this, and I apologize for that. God knows I'm not asking all of you to quit your job. That's a big step. But do we really have to settle? I mean, were you really created to be born, be bored, and then be buried? Is that what God had in mind? Ask yourself this. How many decisions are you making because you want security? Wow, this is speaking to the two of you. And how's that going for you? What's one thing you can do to make your life more passionate and enjoyable? If you did that thing, what would be the next thing that would make life more passionate and enjoyable? And then what's the thing after that? What if by a year from now, you were doing something in your life you didn't hate, something that didn't make you bored? What if?
Do you know where the?
Want to talk about that?
Do you know where the richest place in the world is?
The cemetery.
You know why?
Books were not
It's the
written.
place where all
People
of the
didn't achieve their
unrealized,
dreams.
where the unrealized dreams lie.
The things that
People
never happened.
people that thought of doing something and said someday. People that thought of doing something and said, I'm not good enough. People that thought of something and said, I'll be judged.
Mhm.
And they just never did it.
The grave is the most.
Fort Knox is broke. Fort Knox isn't the richest place in the world. And you know what? And I forget who said this, but the mind, this was probably Earl Nightingale. The mind is the last untapped resource on earth.
Mhm.
But see,
That's the greatest sentence.
that which is
The richest.
free, people don't even,
Yeah,
they
they
take
don't
for
value.
granted.
Yep.
They don't value.
Mhm.
And yet the mind is the most, that's where everything comes from. I love, even in the Bible, it said that we were created in God's image as our body was created. But our mind, our spirit was like a whole nother level beyond that.
Mhm.
So our bodies are like, so what, whatever almost. We're created in the image of God, but the mind is really connected to Him. Our spirit is connected to Him.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is a lot like the purpose-driven life and it's a combination of both.
These? Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's.
I love making the connections.
Okay, the fourth principle is this. You will become like the people you hang out with. We know
Yep,
that. We've read that. If you ever attended one of my conferences or if you've gone through our life plan, you know this is one of my core beliefs, and it's not just a belief. It's a fact. You are more than what you eat. How much you exercise or how much sleep you get. You are a conglomerate of the people you hang out with. I have a friend who runs a small business and is just now experiencing a great deal of success. His team is great. But there's one guy I've noticed my friend has trouble with. When I asked him about it, he said dealing with the guy was like dealing with a 7-year-old. Why do you keep him around? I asked. He told me he needed him, that he was sure his ideas were valuable. I told him what I'd tell anybody, let him go. He's going to corrupt your entire culture. Pretty soon you'll have other team members taking on his characteristics. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
My friend listened, but he ultimately didn't take my advice, or at least he didn't for 6 more months. He finally let him go when he just couldn't take it anymore. The guy was causing too many divisions and spreading a negative culture. These days, my friend's company sings right along, and he hardly even misses the guy. Isn't it funny how much we think we need certain people when the reality is we really don't? Often we'd be better off without them. One bad egg will make your life miserable, and worse, eventually you'll become like them. If you hang out with the bitter people, you'll get bitter yourself. And the sure way to become a cynic is to hang out with cynical people. Want a Darwinian, cutthroat view of life? Just hang out with sharks. Every once in a while, I get some pushback on this idea. Shouldn't we be gracious and forgiving? And my answer is yes. But what does being gracious and forgiving have to do with selling your soul?
You know what the number one thing is? Guard your own heart.
Yes, God does
Guard
say that.
your own heart first.
Above all, God says, guard your
First.
own heart.
You can
And
still
then you can still
forgive.
reach out. You can still reach out to others and forgive and all those other things. But you have to watch out what you're exposing yourself to. I mean, if literally, if we have the TV on and we're expose ourselves to garbage before we go to bed, that's the last thing our subconscious mind or our conscious feeds our subconscious before we go to bed.
Yeah.
So we just don't do it.
Right.
Well, that's like, I know I've heard you guys say before too, where, you know, there's like your family. You still love your family, but there's some people that you maybe are going to choose to just spend less time
Create
with.
Well,
You
John
know,
Eric
space.
says that. He says, you know, you're gonna like social media. You're gonna move them into this category over here, so you maybe see just a little bit less of that.
Yeah, you know, it's not that
You don't love them.
you don't care about
You're
them.
guarding
you don't love
your
them,
heart. You're guarding your heart.
you're just being very conscientious of what you're putting
Of
around.
not, if you're trying to move forward and go over here,
Right.
and they're this way, that's always pushing you back, and you need to move forward.
Mhm.
Okay, so then it says, if you're people pleasing your way into relationships that are negatively affecting you, you're definitely compromising your soul. It's too sweet, honey.
That's way too.
The idea isn't that
That's not as sweet, for sure.
the idea isn't that we're viewing ourselves as better than others, okay? Because people think we're thinking we're better than them, right? The idea is that we're protecting ourselves from becoming somebody we don't want to become. When Jesus talks with the rich young ruler, he explains the rules, grieves the ruler's decision not to become like him, and walks away. Ooh, did you hear that? I guess I don't remember that. I have to look that up in the Bible. John,
That's weird.
Dan did a good job.
do you remember that, John?
What's
The
that?
rich young ruler? When Jesus talks with the rich young ruler,
Yeah,
he
walks.
explains the rules, grieves the ruler's decision not to become like him, and walks away. Jesus did that. He doesn't misappropriate grace by joining the ruler and forfeiting his mission in life.
Mhm.
That's interesting. I should really read that section. What do you want to be? Do you want to be kind, smart, authentic, vulnerable, wise, and disciplined?
Thank you.
If so, guys, find people like that and spend a lot of time with them, because that's exactly what you will become. Some of us pay more attention to what we eat than what we do to who we're eating with. What? Some of us pay more attention to what we eat than we do to who we're eating with. The reality is the latter has a more dramatic
Hear that?
effect on the quality of our lives.
There you go.
So like if you're going out to eat, you're probably more concerned on whether or not it's gluten free and how many calories are
And
in
what
the
you're
meal
ordering, what
Right.
you're ordering.
than who
versus
you're
who
actually
you're actually
sitting
sitting
down
with.
with.
Yeah.
Because that conversation, that
Yeah.
just, you know, goes over the course of your meal, does more for what you're gonna do the rest of your day than anything.
Nothing gets more complicated in a couple ways. Now this gets complicated in a couple ways. The first is, well, there are certain people you can't get away from, perhaps your coworkers, though you really could quit if you had to, or maybe your spouse. These situations really stink. In this case, putting up some boundaries would be great. And while hard, it's really doable. Just refuse to become whoever it is they are. In time, you might even have a positive effect on them. After all, they're also becoming a lot like you. The second way this gets complicated is that it's contextual. What I mean is, certain people have more strength than others. If I'm around a really selfish person, I'll become like them too easily. I have to keep my distance. I have friends, though, who are way less impressionable. They can stay in those relationships longer and not be affected. So our levels of tolerance vary from person to person. The idea remains the same, though. We can be way more proactive in choosing who we spend time with, and this will make all the difference. And are there relationships you need to let go of? Are there new people you need to intentionally get time with? Let's make some changes in who we hang out with in 2016 and watch how powerfully we begin to change ourselves. Yes, dear.
Me first.
Good to see you.
Go ahead.
That goes along with, I don't remember where it was that I heard this, but making a point to spend time with, oh my gosh, people that you admire, different
Yes.
business owners.
Yes. That's Joseph Peck. That was the,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know
But he
the right
said- I think
word
he
is,
said-
but you know what I'm saying.
I think he said even once a week, try to go have lunch with somebody you're
Yeah,
inspired by.
He had a term for it, I just can't think of what it is.
Yeah, it's people who you look up to, who are successful, who you want to
Mentors.
be, mentors. You know, people
Mentors,
who
that's
you look at the aura and you go, that's the kind of person I would like to be. I'd like
Yeah,
to-
I'm just saying, that's what
Well, I
I
had to think about, like, I've had a number of different jobs over my lifetime already. And when you go and take a new job and you step into a group of 5 or 10 employees that are in your direct circle that you see every day, and if you take lunch together or if you just flat out work together and there's conversation, what do? I mean, honestly, if there's a conversation going on that you don't necessarily agree with, but you value your job more than your job really, or I should say you and your heart
Security.
almost take a back seat to actually having
Keeping
the
the
job than keeping the job and because fitting in, let's face it, can make or break the job, because if you don't fit in,
Yeah.
eventually you're probably gonna be asked to leave.
Yeah.
So imagine what, just a couple years worth of time would do, even if you don't intend to become like the group you're talking with, let alone 10 or 20 years of that. And I actually had a job where the group was very much like that. And I refused to be like that. I refused to take the language on that was in the group. I refused to.
Then they all smoke on their smoke breaks with car sales.
There was heavy drinking before we were gonna go home. And I actually even asked it one time. I'm like, how do you guys get home? Because I had, and I was like, how do you do that? And, back roads, whatever. And so you have to really be careful with that. And it's so easy to get entrapped in that.
Yeah.
And you justify it to yourself by saying, well, my family needs me to have a job, so I need to get along, I need to acclimate with the group, whatever that might look like. But
Yeah, I had some glue sticks
on my finger.
Glue sticks.
Yeah, I have a glue stick here.
Okay, that's awesome. Anybody else have anything to say about that? About you become who you hang with?
It just makes sense.
It
I don't know.
completely
I
makes
don't,
sense.
there's not really much to say about it. It's just making sure that you're guarding your heart, and it's again, it's
It's
hard.
hard.
It
It's
depends
hard.
on what you're doing though, too. Like, in my particular job, I can have, I can choose who comes to my house and who doesn't. I can choose who I hang out with, and I am with children, so I'm their influence. But definitely where I was, it
see, you've been
wasn't.
drinking.
I didn't have a
It's not
choice.
screw off. It's a cork.
Listen to Sarah's daughter.
You're okay.
God, that stinks. It's like paint thinner.
Oh, come on.
Probably doesn't say.
You're a smeller.
Anyways,
Where's the?
That juice
Yeah.
needs to mix it with pop. I would at least need to.
Oh
mix it.
no,
that didn't put
sugar in there.
Is there any viewers?
Where's
Did we lose everybody?
There's 3.
We have 3! Cheers! Should we
So,
cheers?
let's say Sarah and Stacy.
Woohoo!
We gotta pour some more
Cheers!
wine.
alrighty.
Here, you want some wine?
You guys are
Sarah?
liking what we're saying. Give us some comments.
done?
I'm sorry, I thought John was gonna get you guys in so you could visit with us.
Well, We can have just a step so you can cheers.
Be a part of the Google Hangout and chat, John. That'd be nice. John, that'd be nice for you to give him that link.
Last time I had a glass of wine. It was the business filming day. And then I remembered I had to go and run and do something.
Oh, funny.
Roundabout kind of got me.
Oh,
Did you go around twice?
Oh.
Oh,
It's like,
Hey, I do that when I'm
it's over.
normal.
well, I don't normally, and I was just praying that whoever was behind me figured it was just
I
normal.
do.
Yeah. This one is awesome. This is the last one, guys. This is the 5th and final principle. I can only do 3 big things in a year. That's it. Just 3. 3 big things.
So what do they consider big things?
Okay, here we go.
Aha.
You guys ready? Here we go. The chip bags are really loud. What, Sarah, what'd she say?
Chip bags.
What chip bags? You mean like we're doing the popcorn?
Every single bite you take. Oh.
They can hear that? Here. You can really hear that well? I'm so sorry.
Didn't mean to be a cruncher.
Okay, the 5th and final principle. Okay, 3 things. Most people I know, sorry about that, Miss Sarah. Most people I know who aren't having much of an impact in the world suffer from 1 of 2 problems. Either they don't know what they want to do or they are trying to do too much. Okay? You hear that, John? I've never really had trouble knowing what I wanted to do, but I've had tons of trouble trying to do too much. And this is a problem. Now that is me. You guys, which one are you? Doing too much, or are you one that doesn't know what you're trying to do?
I do way too much.
Okay.
Yeah, so much. I know what I want.
Okay. I used to think that's just how life is. It gets busy. Responsibilities get piled on. And the more I believed that, the worse my life got. Something had to change. Warren Buffett said the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. You hear that, John? The key here is learning to let go of great opportunities to take advantage of even better opportunities. Once life starts flowing and you start succeeding, the opportunities pile on. Do you hear this? And people want something from you as you get to be more and more successful. People want more from you. Now listen, but here's the deal. That's what John says all the time. Here's the deal. You can either get a little bit done on a lot of projects, or you can finish a few of them and change the world. Now this is a lot with Cammie saying you can do anything, but you can't do everything, right? Mm-hmm. I have turned down the opportunity, this guy, and turned down the opportunity to endorse books, write forewords, do television interviews, serve on boards of directors, speak overseas, and so on and on. And I rejected them all gladly, because if I did those things, I'd have lost the ability to do something else. These days, I give myself 3 big projects each year, and I intend to finish them. This year, I'll write my first business book, launch a new division of my company, and I'll write a year-long series of emails to help business leaders learn to communicate clearly. And I'll release a series helping people live a better story. That's it. I can't do anything more than that.
Well, and that
Isn't that good?
That's really good.
Powerful.
I totally lost my thought.
Oh,
Shoot.
well, you were gonna say, like, for you?
Well, I was. Anyways, darn it. I'm sucking it. It was really good too. I think it goes along with like that Joseph Peck thing where, you know, you can't do everything. You have to do what's best for you or what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there was more to it. I'll think of it.
Well, like Cammie says, she couldn't have gotten to Black Diamond if she would have done all the things that they could have done along the way, as far as they could have coached everything. They could have been in every church organization. They could have been in every possible thing. And she had to sacrifice even going to some of her family's games in order to build like they were trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that I know we say we want to go where we want to go, you and I, but then I think, well, look at all the stuff that we're doing. We're trying to be present at everything.
also, so what do you do? I mean, what's your, if that's your
Where do you
goal,
draw the line?
then you say to yourself, then you rather should be saying kind of like go for the no. You know how we say go for the no with enough people? Then you should almost be going through your day going, how many things can I say no to stay on my purpose? You can't just say no just to say no, because I could say no just to sit on the couch too.
Yeah,
But
you have to have a
But if
goal
you have
in
your
mind,
definite
but
purpose or goal, and then you practice saying no,
Well, you have to ask yourself that question. I think that's where you're thinking of the Joseph Peck, where you say, is this decision by saying yes or no going to help me get towards my goal for this year? If you choose 3 things that you want to achieve and do well, you have to ask yourself when
Like
things
an
come up,
IP
is this
like
going
an
to help me
IPA
draw
towards that.
closer to what I'm trying to get towards?
well, I think maybe what I was thinking of saying too is that goes along with the goal setting of having a very specific goal versus, writing down, these are the 10 goals I want to achieve. Maybe really truly having, narrowing it down and understanding that it's okay. It's okay to narrow it down to just a few things. I don't know. I can't.
Right.
I'm losing it. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, Alyssa's saying some stuff. Let's listen. Somebody read out what she's
Sure.
saying.
I truly believe that people will totally influence you. I've met a lot of people that I've had to let go because of their behaviors.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Sarah said, I think I'm a combo because I try to do too much. I'm not sure what I'm doing or what my priority should be. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
that's real.
well, and I think that ultimately goes to what are your priorities? Because,
You alright?
You need a drink or anything, Noah? You want a drink,
'Cause I-
Liam?
I think that many times, let's just take Cammy for example.
Speak kind of louder. Loud.
People will look at Cammy and they'll say, I want to be a black dime, or I want to be Cammy Dempsey.
Wait,
Can't
she
be
hears
your
too.
Cammy
That's right.
And I think, to what Sarah was saying, I think that people get lost in knowing who they are.
Mhm.
This is what I think, you need to brand yourself as you. You need to, like in the words of John Eric, you need to be the best you that the world can see, because there is only one you. So when you be the best you can model yourself after another successful person. That's a healthy thing to do. But make sure that you own it in your own respect. It has to be you doing your thing. That might not be Black Diamond. It might be something else.
Right.
But guaranteed, if you do the best you can at who you are, you will bring value to the world.
Yeah.
And you'll be rewarded for it, because I think it's Earl Nightingale again that says you'll be rewarded in direct proportion to the value that
You bring to the
provide.
table. Yeah.
And Jim Rohn says, don't come to the world with your need, but with your value.
So another thing with that too is that what did it say, the more success that you achieve, the more people are going to,
Pull at you and want you to do things.
and that makes sense too, because people are attracted to the success that you are attaining. They want to know what it is that you're doing. So really, instead of losing focus, you can be a good influence, but you don't necessarily need to, take a step back from what you're doing in order to help them.
Right.
It's gotta be so hard though.
And that's what we've noticed that too, where when people, from sidelines will message you and they'll want your help. We don't know who they are, but they saw you somewhere speaking, they went to a mission or whatever. And so, yeah, you do have to kind of say, you can't do everything. Because you honestly have a lot coming at you at times. And think of Cammy Dempsey. She has constant.
A precious metal has a lot of attraction. If it's copper attracts electricity. It attracts
Oh, gosh.
hot and cold well.
Sorry.
If it's gold is shiny and it attracts attention.
Yep.
If it's a precious metal, it attracts attention. And that's
Yeah.
where I go back to, if you are gonna be special, you have to be the most special you that you can be. And in today's world, with social media, it's easier than ever to get you out into the world. Think
You guys
about
want
if we-
cookies or chocolate or anything?
Think about if we didn't have
Yeah, like
social media. You have something awesome to bring to the table, but you only have your neighbor to constantly rub shoulders with.
Yeah.
Today, if you're
People did more at-home parties though too when there wasn't so much social media.
True.
I mean, I remember going to so many parties just randomly all the time.
But even then, I think people concentrate too much on whatever business you're in. I think they
Sarah goes,
concentrate
yes, chocolate.
too much on going through the motions of whoever their XYZ.
Open up, baby doll. Open wide.
their XYZ
You didn't even
company
go
is,
back
you know?
before.
Yeah. Maybe you want one of these. Lints. Woo!
Melissa sent a chocolate bar. Grilled.
Funny.
Love it.
That's good stuff, isn't it? That she's
Holy
gonna be.
cow.
You want me?
No.
No, thank you.
No.
You just bring it all over here, put it right in front of me. Thank you, Liz.
It's all good.
Thank you for
I've actually
that.
been pretty good this holiday season, honestly.
Me too. I think I've lost weight or at least maintained my weight.
Yeah.
That's like the first holiday
Holiday?
season ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let's keep going here. So it says, he says, it might sound arrogant when he's saying no.
Mhm.
And harsh, and I suppose it is. I get my feathers up about it because people can be quite demanding. Tim, the guy who runs my company, just sent me an email from the head of a nonprofit who guilted and shamed us for not endorsing a book her nonprofit is releasing. She explained why we owed them something. The email made me angry, to be honest. I know she's doing great work, but she also knows the value of focus. She was focused and determined, but she didn't care whether or not we got off focus. Get that? Picking 3 major things to do this year, okay, in 2016, whether it's as fun as having the best family vacation ever, or as big as starting a new business, will change your year. It may also ruffle some feathers, but we can't do big things if we're distracted, and you don't really owe anybody anything. If you break focus for a second to help someone, that's an awesome gift to them, but make sure to know it came at a cost. This is very, very interesting. Are you listening, John?
Oh yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
The last post will likely get the most negative feedback. It sounds like I'm saying that you should only focus on yourself, but that's not what I mean at all. My hope is that the 3 things you're going to create will be beautiful and will help tons of people. You guys know what this business, that's what we are.
Mhm.
That's all this business is created on, is people, you know? And they're important. In fact, it might even be selfish of you not to focus on them. Each day I fill out a 1-page planner I created that has massively boosted my productivity. On that planner, this is good, I've got a to-do list that is full of stuff I need to get done. But the big part of the page asks me to write down the 3 projects I'll allow myself to work on that day. My mind can really only focus on 3. After that, I'm toast. I know you can do this. I've not met anybody yet who didn't have incredible potential in them. It will require focus, and you'll have to say no to enormous and fun opportunities, but your work is important. The change you'll bring to the world may benefit thousands. This has been a fun series to write. I hadn't realized how much these ideas have changed my life until I wrote about them all down. Good stuff. I'm hoping this series will help thousands of people do thousands of big life-changing things this year. Can't wait to hear the stories. That's it, guys. On that.
Awesome.
Is that one of those
Chocolates?
almonds?
This is almonds, dark chocolate with almond. So what I was gonna say is,
You go, Sarah.
with the 3 things,
This is my second one.
I was thinking of something that Cammie told me, and now I'm just like totally losing my mind again. It's all about alcohol.
Turn off.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm gonna turn my wine glass back to fill it with water. When it said 3 things, it was something that I've heard Cammie say.
Hiccups.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yards.
We
Revenue.
gotta stop you on that.
Retention.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say is, you realize in this business, you focusing and putting your all into your dreams allows many others to achieve their dreams. You realize when you don't go after your dreams, there are so many others that won't.
Right.
And won't even come into this business because you didn't go achieve yours. And that's exactly what Cammie says all the time. You know, she says, if I wouldn't have had the drive and the focus to go the route I went, we wouldn't be here.
No.
Do you realize Kim wouldn't be here?
Right.
And you and I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And the people that we brought into this business. So I love that it also talks about how, you know, when you put all your dreams together if you think of a big jar, you know, your dream, what you went after, what you did, all puzzle pieces into this big old, huge, bigger, you're gonna call it cause or bigger, something that's way bigger than ourselves.
Well, it's kind of like when the U.S.
When you chase your dream.
when Kennedy really wanted to go to the moon, and at that time, a computer took up an entire room.
Yeah.
And their desire to go to the moon, though maybe, you know, you look at it today, well, to go to the moon, what is that? But to go there required so much thought and ideas and, you know, building, that all of those things helped really push us into the next century. Ideas always give new ideas. So that's why what we're doing right now, even if you don't feel that you're necessarily propelling yourself into something so much bigger, in a way it is. You just don't see it. It's maybe not a direct influence, but it's an indirect influence.
Right.
Can we all have to read the message?
Yeah. You guys have any thoughts on that?
So Alyssa said it's hard to say no to sidelines because I look at each person as family. I've just got to put my business first, and that's hard for me.
Yeah.
Well, and to that, I would say you have to remember that even when it's your team,
These are sidelines.
your desire, but even that, your desire is to chase. Your desire is to chase and help them succeed, because we want everybody to succeed.
Right.
But in the end, we actually struggle more and waste more time doing that, because when those people come to us after a while, then they're ready. And being ready and having a desire on their own to succeed is worth so much more than trying to, as we say, put them in your wagon and pull them up the hill.
Very long.
So it's not harsh, but that's fact, that's reality.
Yeah.
Doesn't part of that come with just communicating with them too, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just having open communication. I know with the people that I'm talking to, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm being very honest about everything, and I'm you know, saying it's not all easy. Yeah, I do work. I maybe don't tell them like all of the ups and downs, you know, I'm not gonna tell them that there's
So they
days
should
where I'm like,
experience them themselves.
well, yeah, I wanna.
And everybody's gonna have different ups and downs.
Exactly. But I am honest about how.
But that
It's gonna take work, it's gonna take dedication, it's gonna take commitment.
Yeah,
There's
like
ups
if
and
you're
downs in
willing
everything.
to, well, yeah, if you're willing to put, and the ups and downs are gonna be different for everybody. too.
Right.
Everybody wants a great smile, right?
Mhm.
Who wants to go get their teeth drilled?
Right.
It's reality.
Mhm.
That's right. And the struggle, that's where the character and all that is built in the struggle.
Mhm.
It's not the good times.
No.
Not in the, you know, when you stand up there on
the
stage, it's
on
because
top.
of all the things that you went through. That's why I have such admiration for people like Cammie Dempsey. I mean, she's a hard worker.
Mhm.
She's also a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And, you know, I often say, even with what we do, you know, even at our level, you know, making 6 figures a year. If John was making a 6-figure a year job, that would mean he'd be away from our family probably 70 to 80 hours a week, and possibly even travel in there.
Not just
Do you understand
necessarily
that?
mean 6-figure either, I mean.
Right,
with Dan
right.
doesn't
So
make
I
that much,
often look at myself, like some people will say, well, Liz, you work a lot. Like you make, like I may be nervous to get to your level because I see how you're working so much. But then I'm saying, we make over $100,000 a year with It Works Global. So if I was at an office job, I would be gone. I'd be away from my family.
Yeah.
I might even be making some trips.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good perspective.
So, I mean, you have to think about that. You think of Cammie and people will say, well, she's crazy.
Mhm.
She's a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta do something to, I mean,
Well-
there's gotta be some work involved.
And that's,
Well, yeah, you can't just.
that's where the reality is really goofy, from when you have a job working somewhere else
Mhm.
to when you come and work for yourself. and you are a self-starter and you decide when your hours are gonna be. Some people just can't connect that, they think they dismiss how many hours they're actually gonna have to work, or, they dismiss the commitment level.
Well, and I struggle with that because, like, for me, like I was saying, with having an accountability partner, that would really be helpful, at least until I got into the habit of it, because I'm so used to I struggle with getting up in the morning.
So do you think that we could do a better job being accountability partners to our team?
If there's people that are ready to go, yeah. Not saying that you guys don't do a good job, but
No,
like
I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
I'm just
for
asking.
me, I'm in a position where I know that I don't know if I'm.
So you'd rather me like say, Sarah, what'd you do today? Like, you'd be good with that, or would you be
I
like,
think
oh, I don't like you
almost
telling me, you're like my boss?
Well, like the groups where we have
Tasks.
the tasks, that is helpful. I modify it to my own tasks
Sure.
sometimes.
It's a hard time keeping up with all of them too. in
Like the
last
tribe
few
wine?
days.
That's been fun though,
It has been a lot of fun.
I've never had to think about what I want to
Right.
post.
Right.
I was like, ooh, I have a couple
Yeah,
ideas.
rather than
Well,
just
and
posting
also
ads,
Yeah,
sometimes
I
it
like
makes-
that, but I don't want anyone to have to go into management mode either.
Yes.
I just mean like having, even scheduling, like we do the business building nights,
Yes.
and having it on the calendar. That's what I need, is something on the calendar. Or we're going to go blitzing. Yes, you blitz, while you're out anyways, but there's a lot of times I don't even leave my house. Like, there's weeks where, I may leave my house for dropping kids off at school.
Yeah, let's
but-
give her, she's going to the moon in 2016. Woohoo! Let's cheers to that.
Going to the moon.
Cheers! I don't have
Cheers
my
to the
glass.
moon. Chad's got the whole bottle.
Yeah.
You don't mess
Well, if
around.
we're going to the moon, I mean,
Might as well.
Right? And I'm
Bring
empty
it up.
glass.
If you're driving, we better be drinking.
But you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
I know exactly
just having, that's where I personally struggle. I mean,
See if I can
it's
find
as
the moon.
simple as, like even keeping going to the gym
And then
or
the
working out.
emojis
Yeah.
It's a mindset thing for sure. But having that scheduled of, okay, I am going to meet with my team and I'm going to message this many people, or I'm
That's what
going
I'm
to
saying.
go out blitzing. Like, that's what I need.
That's what
To
I was
keep
saying.
going.
When we sit down for our leadership meeting, that's what I'm talking about.
It-
When are we going blitzing? Is it once or twice a month? When are we doing business builder nights? What are we doing for that? When's that gonna, I want it to be set.
I
So there's no
agree.
question about that. We know every month.
I agree.
And if the weather's bad, then we turn it into a Google Hangout style of
Yeah.
a webinar, a online party, or whatever, to keep building our business somehow.
Well, and yeah, I guess, like I said, that's the thing. It just seems like a lot of times, it'll come up and it's like, oh, actually, I have this, and this going on. Like, the excuses overtake.
For yourself, you're saying?
No, for me, if it's scheduled and I say I'm going, unless something dire happens,
You go.
I'm going to be there. Like, even at the wrap parties, I may not have guests, but I know I personally need to be there. Even if I make it a work day for myself,
Sure,
I still try to be there.
right.
But I just mean, like, even when we do like the business builder nights, a lot of times, like this last one that I had, a couple people were like, yeah, my kids said they want to do this with me, so I'm going to, do this instead, and
So then you
I-
still stay
I still
strong
did
to it, and that's what I have to do too.
But that's where it's
Yeah.
it's
you can't-
easy, if everybody flakes out, then it's easy to be like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. And I'm getting better at it, I'm working at it, but that's where, like, it worries me, I guess, that, well, what if this is always how it turns out,
I think the thing to
You
remember
can't-
too is to always see the big picture. So, say for example, people are looking at it like, oh, it's just, I can only get one person here, and that person might be only, every third time or whatever that looks like. But the way you have to look at it, instead of looking at the big picture, is to say that one person might open a window or a
Yes.
crack or a crevice to like a whole other dimension and a whole other world,
That's true.
which is Kim's story, really.
Yeah,
When she went to her party And there
And
was
that
only
gal
one-
said, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And then she
Yeah.
went back and she looked up Cammy, found Cammy.
No, that's true. Well, and the other thing, like another good thing that I need to learn is just really being good with my loyal customers and, you know, just really engaging with them and checking in with them and seeing how they're doing and
Make it about helping them and not what you can get from them.
exactly. And with my latest loyal customers, I've definitely had been better with it. You know, as I've gone on, I've gotten better. But my first ones, I really struggle with it because I know that.
But this is the
And
thing.
that's where
It's
I
a new
struggle.
year and you can just put out a letter that said, you know what? I'm restarting and
That's
doing a
true.
better job this time around.
Mhm.
I mean, there is nothing better than saying, I wasn't really happy how I serviced you, and I'm really excited about 2016, really me stepping up my
It's
game to be even a better
That's a great
customer
idea.
service.
transparency.
That is,
You
and
know-
people really
You know what
have
people
forgiveness
love?
for
you know
that,
how
or
much
just
people love transparency. How they love you being real.
and saying, I struggle with this, or I'm not very good at this.
That's a great idea. I think what I struggled with is that, like, one of them is like my mother-in-law.
Sure.
And she's honest with me about, you know, not necessarily liking particular products, and
Sure.
I'm trying, you know, different ways to like approach it, but it's somebody, yeah, that I know. And I'm still, I mean, I guess knowing how she feels is still servicing her, I guess, in the best way that I can.
Yeah.
I can't change her mind.
Right.
But even like one of my daycare moms is one of mine too, and she's just, it's the same thing. She's like, yeah, my doctor kind of has me on restrictions or this or that, and but at least I know where she stands. I think I get hung up in the thought that, well, if they're not ordering, then I'm not doing something right on my part. But
Not
that's
necessarily.
not, yeah.
Right.
I think that's just where I've maybe been hung up.
Sure.
There's definitely some I don't reach
So
out
I've
to.
dropped the ball too, and we're gonna get a better system in place this new year to do a better job. I mean, we've been doing the chip mail, we got it, but I want something even more personal.
Well,
I
and,
want
like,
it
the
where I'm
birthday
actually,
cards
well,
are
I'm
a good
actually,
idea.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
birthday card is a great, every month, you know, you've got this many loyals that birthday cards that are going out. That is a great
Do
investment.
you always make sure though that they are on time or just during that month?
I would say just during the month is fine.
You think so?
Like I got a,
Remembering them, sure.
Okay, well,
Okay.
and that's where I was like kind of struggling too, is okay, well, I have a really hard time already planning ahead.
Yeah.
Much less making sure that I get a birthday card out a week prior to the birthday. But if you think
I would
it's
just say
okay,
in the
like
month.
at least in that month time frame, well, yeah, at the beginning of the month, I can
Send them
fill
all out,
out.
here's the funny thing, if you
10 or
really,
15 and get them out, whatever
if
it
you
is.
really
Okay.
think, and I had you list 2 to 5 entities or people that send you a birthday card
Nobody does.
without, you know, it just happens automatically. Could you list them? No?
Nobody does.
I can list 2 right now,
Yeah, I know.
for sure.
Menards.
Menards and my car salesman.
I know your car salesman did.
Without a doubt.
Menards, really?
Must be
Without a
that you have
doubt.
a card with them, a Menards credit
Mhm.
card, that's probably why.
Oh, okay.
You know, of course, her.
Isn't that automated though?
That one is. That
I
one
was gonna
is.
say Menards is huge.
But
There's
nonetheless,
no way.
I still know that if I think about birthday cards, you know, I know that over the years they've dwindled off as to how many I get, but I know that I'm getting one.
But how many did you send out too, you know what I mean?
True, and I don't write letters, I don't send cards out, you know, we don't even send a holiday newsletter card out, and we should.
This year I sent out personal picture Christmas cards and letters to every
Yours
single
is so
loyal
cute.
customer. Well, I did it for every
That's
loyal
awesome.
customer.
That's
It was a typed letter. I signed it. It was a
That's
typed,
awesome.
and I did customize it per person, so it wasn't just hey. You know, I typed in their name and I adjusted it accordingly.
Mhm.
That's
And not
awesome.
by a lot, but I definitely wasn't handwriting that many though.
Oh, yeah, that would be a lot.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
But I think that that's worth something,
It is worth something
And-
very a lot.
you know, I think the thing we've been struggling with is how do you, beyond that, how do you sort of personally cater to people in their needs when you're like sending out, say, a chip mail or whatever? Do you make it more, you know, from, you know, like say it's just highlight product of the week or product of the month type of thing, because I always feel bad, like when a new product comes out, I'm like, you know, like running an advertisement, like, oh, you know, energy, you know, it's so cool, this new energy drink, and you should try it.
You know, I don't think that's necessarily so bad, because people are watching and they are interested in learning
The new
what the
thing.
new thing is.
Because like
What-
car people, they're always interested in the new model.
Well, exactly. So I don't think it's a bad
Big
idea.
hop party.
I wouldn't make every letter like that. And one of the
Almost an
things
hour,
that I
that's amazing.
considered looking into doing was starting a blog and including that in my email
Mhm.
and just giving like maybe personal reviews or, you know,
Mhm.
asking different customers for
I
a
think you can't go
review.
wrong with that.
You know, and just being very honest about everything. However, that's
Blogging,
a time
Video
consuming
logging
thing.
is very popular.
I don't wanna do that, but, well, it'd be,
Either or.
I would go either way, I guess,
Mhm.
but, working on, that's something.
This is what
that
I would
thought
say.
about.
Choose your big 3 things that you wanna do this year in your business.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And then don't teeter off. Don't say, oh, I think I should do that vlogging. Oh, I think I better go here and do vlogging.
One, that's,
Choose a few things and do them well.
But
And
you
give
know
it the
what?
whole year.
So,
Yeah.
You know what I
so
mean?
for
Or give it a full
Sarah,
No,
6
I
months or whatever, and then reevaluate. Say,
So for
"Did this
Sarah-
go
did
well?"
this work or not? Yeah.
you're daycare right now. So what if you, in order to build your brand, in order to advertise who you are at this moment in your life, you are a busy daycare mom. How many people around the world can relate to that?
Yeah.
A ton of people are trying to make it as an entrepreneur, staying home and spending time with their kids and then having to, you know, tag the neighbors' kids along too, so that they can do that.
Make ends meet.
So just imagine if you started your own well put together blog and your own, you know, just your journey of being that mom that's a daycare mom.
That's actually a
So
really
many
great
people,
idea.
so many people would connect with that, but you have to give it time. So
Yeah.
you have to be consistent and expect that you're not gonna necessarily see a result come in for maybe 3 months,
Well, that's the same as
but you have to be
the,
consistent.
yeah,
Don't
Well-
judge it off of two
Two.
blogs, because you gotta get a following too.
well, and it's the same,
They must have delayed. Like their
that's the same.
comments on it are like
kind of
delayed after.
concept of this whole relationship building that John and Eric was talking about. You know, when I first started with It Works, I literally, my posts on Facebook, they were awful. Absolutely awful.
All of
It
us
was an
were.
ad.
You
All of us
you would have wanted
Well,
to
I-
follow you, in other words.
We've grown a lot. Wouldn't you say we've
Oh,
grown a
and
lot?
since last year, when John and Eric was first brought into the company,
Has it been a year already? Wow.
mhm, yeah,
At a conference.
yeah, and
Yeah.
when he started talking about that, I started changing how I posted on social media. You know, slowly got better, and I'm finally seeing the more interaction and the more
Isn't that awesome?
that my influence is starting to go up, which is amazing. But it was very long. Like it took a insanely long time.
You know why that is? I noticed too that, like on Instagram, for example, when you start liking things in a different direction, what comes into your feed as suggestions starts to change, but it
Okay.
takes time. Because
Yeah,
you have to
makes
remember that
sense.
Instagram is they have some of the same
Algorithms?
going on as what Facebook does, even though they're not quite as tight. So that's what I've noticed. Like,
So if you like a lot of food posts, then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you'll
lately,
start
for
seeing
example,
a lot
I've
more
been-
food posts.
I've been liking more stuff on handguns.
Okay.
Well, gradually, I'm getting more stuff on handguns into my feed.
When you want to take that class, if you haven't taken it yet, Dan, and I'll take it with you.
Cool.
Seriously, I wouldn't mind. Oh, you good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, we're gonna do it.
Right.
We're gonna do it.
Especially
I think
after
you
my
should.
brother's car got stolen.
And just the way the country's going, you never know. You're gonna need
You
it.
need to be
Scary.
protected.
So scary. Anyhow.
Yeah.
On a side
No, so
note.
what- that's- My
Easy to
point.
get
My
out,
point to that is that you have to give it time. You have to.
Absolutely.
You have to
Well, you have
number.
to be
You have to
consistent,
number one
too.
be
Mhm.
consistent, and that's that. Well, like I said, number one, because in your business, if you are not consistent, people don't even know you're in business.
Right.
We've had people ask us, "Is so and so in business anymore?" Well, I'm sorry, but if you can't tell
Right.
by your online activity if you're in business anymore, and like say your peers, you know, your sidelines, etc., your downline, whatever the case may be, if they're asking, are you still in
Look
business?
what you just put as her.
Then you're probably not being clear online that you're in business. Because I know, like, if I'm unsure, like if I go drop the kids off and I'm going to a business that I don't maybe normally go to that early in the morning, I get up close and personal and I drive by and see if the open sign is lit to see if they're open for business.
Yeah.
And people are doing the same thing for you. They're checking you out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're always watching. The only
Right.
question with that is, with the more thoughtful posts, I still include some, like the snow day thing. I had my bottle of Thermofit and I took a picture of myself and the kids, with that. So I wasn't blasting like, this is what I'm using, this is how it works. But just including it in a fun post. I thought anyways. Maybe it really wasn't, but
I like how people have been getting more creative.
the question with that though is, I'm just talking about a product. So how do they know then that, the house, I know, right?
That's like a 10,000 square foot mansion.
Yeah, of course.
That's cool.
Gotta dream
I
big,
love
right?
that. Stones in that one.
So, my point is, let's see here.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm thinking about
Go
the
big or
awesome
go
house.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. So how do they know that you're still in business if you're not like
Blasting advertisements.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, where's that fine line of understanding that, like, they know you do, it works, but you don't want to be just an advertisement.
Well, if I was gonna go on Instagram, I would go to, I'm gonna forget her name. Is it Jocelyn Yates? I'd go to Jocelyn Yates' page.
Oh my goodness, Mike and Ian and Aaron Chris, they're all going down, throwing
Yeah.
up and stuff.
I saw
Oh
that.
no!
2x2, they're all
Son of a gun.
2x2. They fell. I wonder who will be the next two.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah.
You guys could be we could be hot right now.
I don't wanna know that.
Yeah,
We
because
could
we
be
were with
hot
them
right
all.
now.
I do not wanna know that.
I feel
That
great.
sucks. We could be carriers.
And we're not sucking on each other's cups, And I didn't suck on any of their stuff either.
Go with that.
You know what I
What's
mean?
that?
I was gonna say, where are you going with that?
But it does say, it says Chris, when they walked in the door, Quinn and Chris, as they walked in the door, both men are down.
Quinn's not the baby.
Shivers and all.
You already had that stuff.
Okay.
It should be good.
So
I'm
okay,
not.
so let's just look at a little
Like,
bit.
don't get too close to me, John. I don't know.
Let's hug that.
Stop.
Where's my nose?
So it was like, I'm ready to get out of here.
So like, look
We
at her
haven't had
stuff
the
here.
fluid
How much,
forever,
how much
but,
of
you
her
know.
stuff you really see?
Well, and that's how I
But look
think
at,
mine is
I can
too,
guarantee
but
what her thing. So look at this. Just read what she puts, and she does a lot of that. She basically tells her story every day in her posts.
okay. Well, that is if you read them. I don't read every Instagram post. I
Yeah.
read Facebook. I don't read Instagram typically.
I
I'm
think-
still learning Instagram though. Like, I'm still tinkering with it, and then
But-
I love it. But I just
I think that would be going more towards, like, are you just a flicker? Are you just a flicker and a stroller on Instagram, or do you actually find people? Do you find some content where you're like, I can't wait to read that person's content? Like, I'm starting to get more messages from people saying, I just love your content.
Well, I have people messaging me about that too. I just like I do go through and I read some of them, but when I have just a couple seconds, I have this in my mind that I have to like different things. Like 10 before you post or whatever.
12 bottles of
We were having alcohol. Sorry.
Sorry.
That'll kill it all, right?
And I just I'm learning to read more. I just need to take the time to really
and all them.
like be thoughtful about it, I guess.
VIP.
No, I mean, on a really long post, yeah, how many times do you really sit down and read through
Right.
the whole thing?
Well, and it has to be catching. In the first couple sentences, if it's not catching, I just don't read it.
Yeah, because if you can get
And so-
hooked, then you'll read 3 or 4 more sentences. But if the first ones are like, yeah, then you just flip through it.
So the one family that I've been really following quite a bit, I met her at conference last year. Lindsay, I just adopted a girl from India. Indigo is their little girl's name.
Not the Moors then.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris and Nikki Moore, they
Nope,
adopted.
it's anyways, I was standing in line by her.
Oh, for the store.
Yep, from the store, blonde hair.
Yeah.
Cute as ever.
She's a networks person?
Yes, Mig Lori?
Didn't I fall going up the steps or something at that point?
This girl. Super cute.
See, like this girl here, she took a selfie of herself and she said,
Her,
"Oh,
her story is just so intriguing with this adoption that they've done. They've been battling this forever, and they finally got their daughter, but they were stuck in India for a few days for like a week because the passport didn't go through and all this stuff. And like, it's so intriguing,
Uh-huh.
and I just feel like I feel connected with her.
Yeah.
You know, and but it has to be.
Big Gloria. Trying to find her.
So like Jocelyn,
Here she
you
is.
know, she just took a selfie, and she pretty much starts it the same way all the time, or pretty close.
Oh my goodness, I'm friends with her already, so are you.
She
I
just
don't
said,
get her stuff in my
I joined
email.
at work simply because I wanted an extra $500.
Who is that? I want to
Jocelyn Yates.
on
And she actually has like 4 different Instagram accounts.
Jocelyn JOC.
So-
Oh, that's who we're friends with?
Here's the other thing
No,
that
you and I, Lindsay.
worries
Leo.
me though,
Adoption
is
Lindsay, you're
that
friends with her already.
Yeah.
I saw, I don't know who it was, but someone was saying, Jocelyn, right?
She's got about 4 accounts though.
Basically, they said that
That's-
if you are an It Works person and you follow me on Instagram, I will block you. They were very blunt about it, and I was, oh, that's mean. Why would you do that? And it's apparently, it seems like people are stealing. You know, like they'll follow somebody, and then when someone comments, you know,
Oh,
they're being
sure.
unethical.
Oh, sure.
And so that got me thinking, so I've been unfollowing a bunch of It Works people because
Yes.
one, I don't really want to see all their stuff, you know.
Right.
But you're trying to reach out to
I try not
different
to follow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
'Cause I was doing what you had suggested, where you go and like follow, and then you know unfollow stuff. And
That was very early in our.
And that's probably not the best thing.
and I quit doing that. It increased the amount of stuff that I was seeing, so at least I have a little bit more interaction. But now I'm
Sure.
being a lot more conscientious of who I'm following
Right.
and
Mhm.
things like that.
Right.
But and I'm weeding it out as I go. But anyways, that's one of the fearful things I have with Instagram is that I don't want somebody to start, you know, stealing, you know, potential customers.
Mhm.
And some
Which
of
I
that-
haven't had happen yet, but I'm sure it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know, talk negatively, but I'm sure
Right.
it will.
Right. It's hard when you get onto the social
Where-
media
and
places.
Facebook is so much more comfortable for me to understand, and I have
I
like my
know.
friends list completely blocked, so I'm the only person who can see it.
Yes.
Where I don't know how to do that with.
So okay, so another book or guy I would suggest listening to is Gary Vaynerchuk.
That's the jab, right hook one that I took a picture of it and said, you guys need to follow him. He's terrible language. Do you remember that one?
I'll grab his book.
Where I
here
said
in
his
a minute.
language is terrible, but he's got great YouTube videos and you can sign up to get his stuff all the time. And he's great. He's not-
I remember the
He's
name, but
He's very good
if
with
you're
social
looking
media.
On Twitter, I'd follow him on Twitter for sure because Twitter is his hotspot, and he's at Gary V. At Gary V is his thing there. So
Thank goodness, I'm gonna have a
Gary-
really-
Yes, Tyler, that's exactly
Right
what
here's
I'm
his
thinking.
name.
What you're saying is exactly like what
Kind of
we've been
weird.
doing all week with each of us is what I'm thinking will be on the event. What I don't want the event is just a race.
YNER. Okay,
Look
so
at all this. Let's catch up.
that's what he looks.
They've
That's
been
what he
look
looks
at all
like.
those. They've been chatting all this
Okay.
time, back and forth.
He's got bad language, but he's like the king
Yes.
of social
Our kids need
media.
to get to bed.
I should probably put him to bed. Hey,
You going down there?
go home.
I was gonna go grab his book first.
Oh.
Well, maybe you want to call him up.
Alyssa goes, he's very good, but definitely no filter.
Yes, it's terrible language, but he's very passionate and very strong and good. I mean, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
There was one you shared today that I think it was you that was make sure the kids
Yeah.
were around when you.
Sarah Rankin.
It was a Sarah Rankin. Okay, I didn't watch it because the kids were around. I was like, okay, well, I see the alarm here, so.
She said a few words, yeah.
Oops.
It was good though, her message was good.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I mentioned.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'm excited about my dream board. I just need to put some
So
pictures on
Tyler,
it.
can you just give me a little example?
Billie Jean.
So,
She's so cute.
Where's the book, Liz?
Probably in my black bag in the office, I'm thinking.
I love Purity.
so here's a couple more things. Work on learning a new language.
Oh my. What do you mean? What kind of language?
You still learn second language?
I was talking to my cousin. He's very successful. He works for Apple, very high up in that company. And I was telling him how quickly the girls pick up on things. Like how Tegan's memory is childlike. Like you must have stolen my memory because I have none now, but she remembers everything. And Sarah.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Still hanging with us. Woo woo. You guys rock.
Do you see a difference? I feel a difference.
In what?
In her legs. Okay, I didn't see the picture at first, so I was like, oh boy,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Oh wow. Yeah, you can see that it's definitely.
That's
That's
so
right.
cool.
Definitely see a difference.
It's so fun. Anyhow, he had suggested maybe I try and help them learn a language since they're young enough to absorb that.
Oh, are we going to see your boards? Oh, are we going to see your board, Alyssa? Here, John can hold mine up. John wants to show. They want to see our boards. I need to add my pictures to it yet, but that's mine. Can you read it all?
They can read it. They can read it.
And then I put a daily 6 list and take 1 day off a week.
I know Liz's handwriting is to be desired, but she does other things. She does other things well.
So I have to add my picture yet too.
And then,
There's Sarah.
student loans, I only have
That's fine.
a few of them, so
I was gonna get there.
pay those off.
Oh my
Things are a little bit slow, Sarah. Gotta be
You mean
patient.
just you?
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta be
okay.
patient with me.
I like how
all
you have your
that
diamonds on
branding.
there. That's great. I like how you have your shirt on there.
Oh.
There's Sarah Stodders. My fingers covering her dreams. There we go.
They're all over the place. It's a big green board.
That's okay.
It's not all for this year.
Sarah gets the handwriting award. And here's Gary's book in case you guys are interested in this.
Yes, that's a great.
This is huge for social media.
Sure. Sure.
There we go.
He needs to come and
You can
shower.
follow the best place to follow Gary is he's a huge Twitter guy. So follow him at Gary V. So just
And then I took a
Gary, I think it's VEE.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
So check that out. Okay.
You were gonna sign off, guys, unless you guys have something else. You
All
wanna
right.
share yours? Should we do one last cheers? To the Lord blessing our goals for him, right? To impact
Go big or
and
go home.
change the world. Thank you guys for hanging with us.
Thanks for
We love you
hanging.
all. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Love you. Mwah.